What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 297. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
Yo.
and Brian Manjoma.
What up?
All right, Adam is MIA. I think he's not feeling well or something, so no Adam action, no table tennis talk tonight. And as always, Brett of the Wild will show up when he shows up, man. You know? Oh man, we were getting into it before the show, man. But you guys will get to hear it. You guys will get to hear it. It's a topic about one of tonight's questions, man. So before we start, a couple things here. Again, we are on the road to 300, and I realized I should have started the road to 300 like probably now because I'm like, hey, yeah, we have a month. Let's start it now. It's like, no, that's like 8 fucking episodes. You got to repeat the same shit over and over again. It's like we got 2 podcasts, Tony. So yeah, episode 300 of both shows will be airing on September 3rd and 6th respectively. We're gonna have contests, special guests, all that good stuff, and the contest. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna stump you guys. But if you get the question correct, we will give you a game of your choice as long as it's not a special edition. We don't do that around here. You know, maybe one day though. Although episode 300, we're just going to make a very special announcement. People, get ready. We're taking it to the next level. You know, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. You know,
talk about that.
all right, man. As always, follow us on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube and join our Discord, where it's always popping in the Discord. You can find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show, and you can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. Links and all that good jazz are in the description below. But let's get into it already, man. So we got a lot of good questions, and I threw the most heated one first, man. Y'all ready for this, man?
You getting some heat? Give me some heat, man.
Some heat, man. Hey, yo, Damien. I'm gonna leave you alone for now, Damien. But I got some on you, brother. Next time you come talking that shit, I'm gonna get you, man. I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm gonna get you good. Remember that song? I'm gonna get you, sucker, man. See, motherfuckers don't know about the old school, man. They don't know about I'm gonna get you. Remember that one dude? He had like that really big foot when he shot it.
Well, it's disappointing.
Yeah, you remember that, man? See, the old school knows. All right, Paiku Han, what's going on, brother? All right, first question is from Mr. Roman Ronan, and his question is, what is the last Xbox exclusive that you can remember that came out on time or delayed that sold quote-unquote well and had great critical acclaim? Basically, when was the last time Xbox had a hit game that didn't suffer lots of controversies? To start, do you think Cuphead or the Ori sequel qualify? If not, then what would be the game? This has been a thing with Xbox games, all their big AAAs. I'm going to say this, right? Forza games. I think those are pretty, they're niche. They don't suffer any controversies, right? But outside of that, the Gears games, like, the last 2 have been kind of controversial because, they don't have Marcus Phoenix as a star anymore. Crackdown 3 was Crackdown 3. Halo 5, you had Spartan Locke in there. Forget, some Quantum Break that had, people were like, yo, what's up with all these cinemas and shit. That's the game I was stumbling on. Record, people were like, yo, what's up with this buggy game? Every big, or at least the majority of their big AAAs, I'm going back now. Rise of Son of Rome, even though I liked it, people were like, yo, this shit is too short. Sunset Overdrive, no controversy. There's just people just ignored it for whatever reason, which is ironic because the engine that powered that game powered Spider-Man, which is one of the best-selling games of the generation. So yeah, you know what? Let's actually make this difficult because obviously the Cuphead games and the Ori games are universally praised. Has Xbox had a bona fide hit this generation? I'm gonna say no. And I'm not, prove me wrong.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and I also wouldn't count Ori and Cuphead either because they become multi-plats.
That's
now.
right. Yeah. There's Brett's a corner right there. What's going on, Brett?
What's up? Wait, Ori. Okay, what do you mean by Microsoft exclusive? Because we all know that they have like this weird. They have this weird state where they're not exclusive as
They are.
yeah. Well, you know what I mean. Like there's no game that's strictly on Xbox and Xbox only. So hence,
Right.
are we counting Xbox and PC or just Xbox only?
Yeah,
Is it
for
just
for the sake of this conversation, we're counting
just say
Xbox
PC.
Xbox and PC are Xbox exclusives. Just for the sake of this conversation,
Okay.
you know. So Ori is not on another console that I know of, but Cuphead certainly is. You know. By the way, Brett, we're trying to figure out if Microsoft has actually had any bona fide Xbox exclusives that have been universally praised this generation or universally acclaimed. Brett, now you came along. Sea of Thieves, that's another one that was controversial at launch. You know,
Super Lucky's Tale.
so that's another one that was controversial.
People didn't know that was on PC.
Also, that's a multi-platform now too. That came out on Switch.
Yeah,
Yep. Oh, Brett, you're
Brett,
muted.
you're muted, brother. We could tell you're muted too because you were talking. And
I know.
Yeah.
I was doing this. Watch. Hey Google, change lights to cyan.
Nice. Look at this.
Wait,
Pimp,
There we
pimp,
go.
pimp.
Whoa, what's going on there?
Yeah. I mean, for you guys listening, Brett just did some magical Star Trek shit right now. You know.
So now see, and like now, obviously color stuff. You're warm lit, and then you got the cool background, and you instantly pop.
See?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
I was about to
the
go off.
color design.
I was about to go off on a tangent right now. But yeah, Brett, what's your take on this, man? Because I'm like, I don't think Xbox had any. They didn't have any hits on the level of Spider-Man, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War. Nothing like that this generation.
Animal
No, I
Crossing.
mean honestly, they didn't have the studios this generation. They've only recently added a lot of big names to their stable. So and they're utilizing them. But the thing I hear a lot, and we said it here, is a lot of games they produce are kind of controversial, and I personally see that as a good thing. Like I feel like as an industry, we're both stretching to try and change the way that we game. Make new kinds of games, not have that same thing. We complain about the same thing, especially me, over and over and over again being rehashed. Like it's like going to Taco Bell. Yeah, like there's 5 ingredients that they put it together like 90 different ways. But you should really try the taco wrapped in a burrito. Like I don't give a shit. It's gonna taste like Taco Bell. I think we're really trying to. We have the conundrum of we're trying to move past that, but we don't know what we're trying to move into. And I think Microsoft has been exploring that without much success. But you kind of I got to give them a little bit of kudos for at least exploring it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
you got to give Sony credit for like dropping bomb ass games. Microsoft's trying. They're trying, and now that they're arming themselves up, like I'm really excited to see what they're going to come out with. They're pushing Obsidian hard, or Obsidian just has something up their ass. And they're going to try and take down Bethesda because, Jesus, man.
Yeah, like what, like 4 games or something like that?
Yeah, there are 3 games in that one showcase.
Yeah. Grounded, like right now is people fucking love that game, which I'm shocked because it's a survival game, but it seems Xbox fans and itself tend to want to stray from the normal path that Sony has kind of dug a rut into. So I'm not talking shit on either company. Sony is going to give you that big cinematic experience that's super polished, what you're looking for. But I remember the days when we had kind of experimental games, and I love those days. I want things to change. I want the pieces of successful experimental games. And unless we have games going on a limb and trying something different, then we're not going to progress as games as an art form, I guess. We're limiting ourselves, and to sound fancy, we're quickly becoming derivative of ourselves. So I don't think that games like Sea of Thieves are necessarily a bad thing. I hear they've added a lot to it. There are a lot of people enjoying it. I'm not going to hear that much in our circle, but I do hear a lot of rumblings even outside the Xbox community of Grounded. Like apparently, I think it's a huge, massive success, and it's not even released yet.
Yeah, no, it's doing really well.
Honestly, that would probably be the best game of the generation because it hasn't gotten much, and they finally seem to have struck a bit of gold and have a little bit of luck. So, in the tone of the question, like, no, man, Microsoft has kind of shit the bed this generation. I'm convinced that they knew that. They knew that 3 years ago. They're like, there's no saving this. We're not even going to try. We're going to put out an elite system and try and focus on the next generation and buy a bunch of gaming companies. That's what they did. So I think you haven't seen Xbox's final form.
Yeah.
To put in Dragon Ball Z terms. I don't know if that form is going to be like Frieza number 2, like just this big, awkward, gangly, monstrous thing, or if it's going to be Frieza's final form. Like, you don't know. So I'm really interested to see what they come out with.
It's going to be white and sleek.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to... Yeah, that second transformation they always have, it's just really awkward, like Cell's second form. Like, what the fuck is going on here? It's one of those. Like, I'm waiting to see, now that they've absorbed these companies, what they're going to do with them. Because let's be honest, Sony doesn't produce these companies other than like Santa Monica. Like, for the most part, these are first party studios because Sony purchased them, not because Sony created them.
Yeah.
So,
same thing with Microsoft, though. To be fair.
Yeah, and that's what. Well, Microsoft just now bought a bunch of studios.
Yeah.
So now they're doing the same thing. Now they're going to be on the kind of the same playing field. I am torn between the lineup for next gen. There's 3 games I want. 3 games I'm really excited to play for each one.
We have a kind of related question coming up. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Tanya from Rivals of Deep. Let me say this right. Rivals of Waterdeep. Who is a good friend of the podcast, and that she does a D&D podcast, which is really awesome, like a Twitch stream and stuff, kind of like what we used to do, Brett, like back in the day, but they have like production values and all this other stuff,
Oh yeah, she does that with Cicero.
Yeah, with Cicero and Sharif, So shout out to all of them. Thank you for joining us tonight. Feel free to ask us any questions. All right.
Sure.
Anybody else have anything to say about Xbox? We the answer. They don't have anything universally praised this generation.
They kind of just something happened. I feel like in a lot of ways Microsoft is, at least Xbox, is sort of trying to find its way. I mean, after the 360 era, it was like, okay, it's all about those big explosions and all that stuff. Nowadays, that doesn't seem to be going so well. And then obviously there's still those people that want those sorts of games, the big, the first person shooters type of thing. But I feel like this generation, the one that's coming up currently now, is where they're gonna see, hopefully find their way and find something that works for them. Because I feel like what kind of went against Microsoft, Xbox in their initial run, it's the what they were known for in the past, and it kind of cornered them for the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So they're known for those first person shooters. They're known for these sort of balls to the wall, like big things. And now once the culture has sort of moved away from that, what is left?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I talked about before. Like their whole branding was like, hardcore, extreme gamers. It was even in the branding, Xbox, like the Mountain Dew guys, the Dorito guys, like all that stuff. It's kind of passe now. Like gaming's gone beyond that.
It's kind of passe, and it's also part of what people see as toxic gamers right
now. Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but exactly.
That's sort of their marketing strategy from back in the day is now considered, bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is it now where you have something like Sony, where they sort of give you a wide berth, and granted, now there is a bit more of a formula to PlayStation games, but there's always something unexpected sort of coming from them. You're talking about, they release games like The Puppeteer, or they release games like Gravity Rush, games that may not be, they do okay, but they're kind of hit you a little bit different.
Yeah. All right, man. Let us. What's the last thing, and then we'll move on to the next question. One more thing.
I think it's going to be hard, at least, in the recent past and in the distant future, to determine what to hit because of Game Pass, because we don't have kind of visibility of numbers for games, and especially for sales. I doubt that sales will start picking up So it's hard to quantify what is a hit anymore for anything in the Xbox platform.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, that's a good point with the whole Xbox Game Pass thing. But I mean, I guess they can see how many downloads there are or whatever,
Yeah, they
for a
can see how
game.
many downloads they have.
But they don't release those numbers.
No, they don't.
Yeah. By the way, quickly, there was a little snafu with Twitter. So it turned out that for some reason Tanya wasn't following me and Throwdown wasn't following her. We fixed all that now. Twitter sucks.
Really?
It's like, what the hell?
I could have sworn that we had it.
We were. That's the point. We
the
were.
hell, man?
But again, she was following me, and it said it wasn't following me anymore. The weird stuff. But thank you for bringing it up. We fixed that because we got to stay in touch. All right. Moving on to the next question, also from Mr. Roman Ronan. Yo, Brad, get ready, man.
Oh shit.
In comparison to other console generations, how frustrating has the lead up to PS5, Xbox been to you personally? I mean, if you've been listening to Throwdown for this year, I think you know the answer to that, brother. It's been, I'll say my piece first. I'll let you guys go. This has got to be the worst console launch I've ever seen. Okay.
That was gonna be my words exactly.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, is okay. Think about it, guys. Okay, Xbox, right? What do they have now? Nothing. They had Halo. Nothing. We got PS5. We got Miles Morales. I'm pretty sure the game's going to be fantastic, but it's an expansion. This launch. Here's the thing. I thought this gen's launch was weak, but at least they had some like AAA games that were exclusive. Granted, those AAA games were not all that in the end, but it was something. This time you got nothing. Okay. By the way, so I asked people on Twitter, right? Because you know what? Brett, I'm going to pull out Tony's soapbox right now, bro. So if I hope you don't mind me taking the trademark from you for just a quick second, man. Because this is serious right now. So the thing I've been thinking about, for the last couple of days is like I'm noticing a weird disconnect. I was going to say with me and our followers, but it's really us and our followers, right? Nobody here on this panel is really excited for next generation, right? But our followers are like, oh my God, I can't fucking wait, So I asked on Twitter, what are you most excited about, for this generation? What games are you getting at launch, right? You know what the funny thing is? 80% of the responses are all current gen games. People just
dude, I can tell you right now, and
they want shiny shit, Brett. They want shiny shit. That's good enough for them. So I'll let you go off, but it's like, yo, bro, it's like, oh my God, I don't understand how you could be excited just for shinier, up-res versions of shit you could play right now. And if you
mostly on PlayStation though, like
no, it's both of them. Both of them. Like,
it is both of them, but at least personally on my list, like it is not all. Like there's 3 things that I want to play on PlayStation, and I forget what they are currently off the top of my head, but I know right now I want to play Grounded, which is a current gen thing. I want to play Avowed, which is not. I want to play Fable, which is not.
Fable ain't coming at launch though.
No, I know, but at least they're announcing shit.
Yeah,
it's hopefully not too far. Don't announce shit like 3 years out. But it's. I have never been less excited. I've been gaming for 32 years. Wait, let me do the math again. 33 years. Gaming since I was 3 fucking years old, and I have never been this unexcited. I just don't fucking care. I'm just like, whatever. I guess I'm gonna buy one. And I've slowly realized that's what they're doing. Like Microsoft is showing you some shit, but like Sony, like they're like, you're gonna buy one. I'm like, you're right. God damn it. This is it. There is no secret sauce. There is no grand reveal. There is no like big thing. We're gonna get a fucking price, and that's it, man. This is what this generation is, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down the line here. Manny, you go next.
Is there anything to be excited for?
No, it's like in comparison to other console generations, how frustrating has this lead up been?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's frustrating. I just would say it's underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I have no idea what there is to be sort of excited for on this one. But I mean, granted, the last one was like that too. I wasn't excited for Knack and what, but at least they had something there to
They
kind
had
of
something.
they had something there to kind of showcase what they were going to be doing. But this time around, it's like, okay, so what? We gave you a game, that's literally just a fixed up version of a game from 2 years ago. That would be right. Would be 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Yeah, a 2 year ago game, essentially PlayStation Pro'd.
Yeah.
You know,
Boost mode version, you know,
or boost moded version of a Spider-Man game with a miniature storyline.
yeah.
And then
And again,
else?
people, Manny, just hold on to our quick. Again, we're not shitting on the game by saying that. It's just what it is, you know.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Eh.
I can't say. Here's the thing. I can't say that it's bad, but at the same time, it's like that's not the game that is not the thing that you launch on. Essentially, essentially, just what everybody's saying. It's like an add-on. So yeah, you have that, and then on Xbox, again, what do you got there? The possibility of Senua's Sacrifice. We don't even know what the fuck that game is coming out. We don't know. Halo got delayed to the following year.
That was the third one.
Yeah.
You know.
By the way, I think it was Carlos who said it. I agree. Halo is probably going to come out late next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen because to be honest, I mean, it's funny that they needed to be told by the public that their game doesn't look fucking kosher.
Yeah. Well, you know, like Chris said, the guys upstairs were like, "No, you got to get that out now."
You put that shit out, yeah. And yeah, so what do we got to look forward to? A bunch of old games.
Nothing.
And some sweaty people, some sweaty basketball players.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, Chris.
Yo, it really is the most disappointing generation I can remember. I mean, you get the PS5 reveal show, and it started with GTA 5, a 7-year-old game that's 2 generations old already. And then you get the Xbox showcase, which was like meh to begin with, and then lost its headliner. They lost their flagship game. Now it's delayed. What the hell is it to look forward to? I mean, the only, I'm upgrading the PS5 is because my PS5 is going to join the brave little toaster on Mars.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's every time you turn it on, you know. Actually, no. Yeah. Whenever you go to a menu in the game, that's when it really starts going crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like in God of War, whenever I go to craft anything, oh man, I'm like, yo, what are you putting in that forge right now? You fucking, the dwarf and shit. Like he's forging stuff. I'm like, yo, what's in that forge right now? It's making my PS5 too hot. You know.
You know what made mine hot? In Metal Gear Solid 5, when you look at the thing.
Yeah, it's the iDroid.
The iDroid would make it like go out of control. I'm like, holy shit, I'm not even playing.
The iDroid and hanging out in the helicopter for some reason made it go nuts. Oh man! All right, Carlos, man.
I mean, Miles Morales, I'm looking forward to. We're talking about all of them, right? All the platforms.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of them. This generation.
Yeah, Miles Morales is one of them. But I mean, it's not like, oh shit, that's gonna show me what's gonna, what I can expect from the next generation console. It's just like, it's like a small step up from like PlayStation 4 stuff. So,
yeah, but
it's
I mean,
not like that.
Yeah, but I mean, have you felt frustrated with the lead up to it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's fucking bullshit. They're not clear on their messaging. We still haven't gotten release dates or a price or anything. So it's like, what should we get excited for? There's delays everywhere, and there's so much shit that is not going right for both the freaking consoles makers.
Is it just the style of gamer that most VR like? Is nobody excited for Avowed?
I don't even know what that is, man.
It's the game that looks like Skyrim that's made by the people who used to make Fallout.
Oh, that game. Yeah, I don't.
Excited for a trailer?
No, he's. Well, I think
that barely showed it.
I think Brett's excited because it's Obsidian, which is understandable. Obsidian does good stuff.
It's cool. It's Obsidian. I mean, it's cool, but I mean, I don't see. To be honest, it's like none of those trailers that just say that hey, we got a game company. That doesn't do anything for me. As cool as it was seeing Senua's the new Hellblade thing, that doesn't excite me as much as actually seeing the damn game. like, or seeing
No,
some sort of gameplay.
I agree. I agree. It's
we
not
got
the same, but
we literally got a lot of those. We got, what was it? There was another one that had a Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Another one, yeah.
Another one. Yes, it looks very nice. But I wish it was like the old Horizon Zero Dawn where they literally just showed you the fucking game and they're like, "Yo, this is what we got."
No, I agree. Like, I don't get as excited about trailers as I do about, actually seeing gameplay. But not having any gameplay to look at fucking at all, kind of have to, it lowers the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, just knowing if a game, just tell me if, I'm basically sitting there like, show me a game. And they're like, no. I'm like, come on, show me a game. And they're like, no. I'm like, all right, at least tell me a game is coming. And they're like, all right.
The game is coming thing just makes me think it's only one step above just showing a logo.
The bar is so low, especially for Microsoft, that what gameplay did they show that impressed anyone? Just because they're announced titles, people think that, like, wow, look at, like, they fucking gave them participation fucking, credit. But they didn't show anything.
They didn't show anything,
Nobody
man.
showed anything.
Nobody,
Exactly.
man. This whole generation is whack, man.
The one sure thing we know is Grand Theft Auto's coming.
Yes.
Big fucking whoop.
I can't believe they started the show off with that, man. I still can't believe that.
The next generation is a what is it, a 10-year-old game?
Microsoft's show is automatically better just because of the fact that it started GTA 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Granted, they did show a dirt old game that was getting something coming onto the new one, didn't they?
Yeah, whatever. Brian, I know you're staying out of this. What are your thoughts, man?
I wouldn't say frustrated. I'm just kind of confused as to what's going on, because if you look at the current status quo, you would not believe that new consoles drop in 2-3 months. Like if someone just woke up from like a coma, like right now, and someone said to them, "Hey, new consoles are out in like 2 months," and they'd be like, "Really? How? Like, where? How?" It's just the lack of information is just confusing, because usually they spend like a whole year just propping up and saying, "Oh, we have all this great stuff coming out. Buy our new console like next year, this year." But now it's just like it's nothing. It's silence. So I'm just finding it really, really odd. I'm not frustrated because, again, given how the current console gen went, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not too sure I understand where consoles are heading now, because I'm just confused. They don't really seem to be doing anything exciting. They're just doing the same old. So I'm like, whatever.
So would you say
So,
would you say you're not fussed about getting a new console?
It's not exciting. Like, it's genuinely not exciting. They have somehow made getting a new console not exciting. Like, no, because it used to be like, oh,
I agree.
shit,
I
PS3
agree.
is coming out. Rub our hands together. Like, oh, I can't wait. Oh man, the PS2 is coming out. Have this game at launch. Have that game at launch. Have like all these other games. Like all these other studios are like working on games and stuff. Like in this magazine, they've talked about this game and oh shit, that game. But now it's just like, yeah, these trailers exist, but the games, man, like, I don't know, it just seems very light and odd.
Yeah,
Like,
I
really
agree.
Remember they said like we're slowly seeing the generations dissolve. We're not going to see generations anymore.
Oh yeah, Phil
I
Spencer
didn't
said
realize
that.
that they were going to do it by making them so unexciting that we didn't even want them anymore. I thought they were just going to kind of phase them out, but apparently they're just going to make us done with them.
They're just gonna make you bored to death.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, and I feel like it's weird because like we have all these. I mean, granted, I guess a lot of people out there are younger and don't remember when there was something to be excited for. So it's like their bar is so low where they think that anything is great.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
Is that what's going on now? It's just like,
Oh, yo, I'm gonna keep it real right now, Manny. This is a little bit related to your day job. I feel the same way about comic books. I'm like, yo, are comics so bad that people think they get excited for this stuff? Really? That's what you're excited for? You got the bar is set low, man. But I'm not gonna go off on a tangent about that. All right, let's move on, man. Next question is from Mob hits. All right, mob hits. First question. Do you think Microsoft should give up their messaging on no gamer left behind and have more focus on the here and now? Regardless of what they say, the truth is we are seeing limitations from them having to cater to the old generation. And to be honest, are the games really being left behind when you have Game Pass and xCloud providing the first party exclusive experience? Good question. Basically, what he's talking about is the whole no gamer left behind thing. Is basically they want to have games on every system, right? So no gamer is left behind. I don't think that's their actual term, but people have called it that. But he has a point there. It's like, okay, if you have an Xbox One, right? Again, this is hypothetical right now. Let's just say you have an Xbox One. There's only games built for Xbox One, right? Because of xCloud and Game Pass, you can still play your old shit. So you don't need to cater to the old generations, So here's the thing though, that whole ethos of no gamer left behind, in 2 years' time, it's done. It's done. Microsoft has said we're going to support all platforms for 2 years. What does that mean? That means after 2 years, that shit. And if you guys remember at the Xbox showcase, right, some of those games just said Xbox Series X and PC. They did not say Xbox One. What does that tell you? It's going to come out after 2 years, So, yeah, so there you go. Yes, who said that? Hold on. I'm getting distracted by the chat. Spider Seeds goes, I didn't know you could change your background on Discord. Well, this is OBS, baby. That's how we're doing this, man. That's what's going on there. So yeah, the whole thing of like, we got to make games for every platform. It's definitely bite him in the butt. I'm going to be honest right now. Another little theory of mine about Halo. I think one of the reasons that game looks like that is because it has to run on the old consoles, and because then they promised the game was going to run at like 4K 60 or something, Chris, or was it 4K 120? But don't get me started on that bullshit. You can't even do 1080 60. You're promising 4K 120? Really?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
By the way, shout out to Spider Sites for following us.
I appreciate that, brother. Oh yeah, so yeah, all this magic that you see right here. Yes, we are using Discord as our base, but all this stuff is all through OBS, man. All the graphics. Anyway, Chris, no gamer left behind, all that other stuff. What's your take?
Well, they could change their marketing around that. Maybe it's somewhat irrelevant with xCloud and stuff. I don't know. I don't think it really means anything. I don't think it really sticks it. I think what they meant was stick it to PlayStation, right? That they're like, oh, we're instead of just looking forward and not worrying about backwards compatibility and whatever, we're taking care of everyone. But kind of inherently, they're both doing that.
Yeah.
So it's not really a good tagline. I don't think it's effective. To then promote like what is special about you. Like I don't think most gamers feel left behind, and most guys are forward looking anyway. They don't care. So I don't think it works in that respect. As a marketing ploy, if that's what you're basing your system on, it's kind of weak compared to what are the advantages you're offering over Sony. That's what they should be focused on. What's the tagline that tells us like, oh, that's where I want to play. That's where I should have my ecosystem. It's not that.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Carlos, what's your take, man? No gamer left behind. And you know what? And Carlos, throw in some scalability while you're at it, man, because you've been talking about that on Twitter.
Should they? They already did. They already abandoned it when they were saying, it's like in the press conference where they're showing the games, they're like, they didn't put the Xbox One branding on them. Why is that? Because they're not gonna come out for the Xbox One. Fable and all those other games, they didn't have that branding, so we know they're not gonna come out for the Xbox One. So they already abandoned that whole thing. It's like, oh, no generational exclusives. It's like, it's bullshit, and yeah, the whole scalability thing, people think it's just like, oh.
They did say for the first 2 years. Like, am I the only one that heard them say no for the first 2 years?
They said they don't believe
literally just said that at the top, man. I literally just said that at the top, yeah.
I am really confused why people just think that Microsoft said no in general and then literally said no for the first 2 years. It's like
Because
everyone's just running wild with the idea that they said no for the whole generation. No, they said no for the first 2 years.
Yeah,
which
2 years. Yeah.
yeah, well,
which I
it's
actually
funny.
think is
It's funny that they're saying no for the first 2 years, but the majority of the games that they showed were pretty much for the latter half of those 2 years. So it's it's like, what's the point of saying that no gamer is going to be left behind when pretty much all those gamers are going to get left behind anyways, like in pretty soon, because they don't even have games. What games do they have coming out this year? They don't have anything coming out this year. Do they have anything coming out next year that they announced?
they have Medium coming out at
They got Halo Infinite.
in December. Like, why is everyone forgetting about Medium? Like, it literally is there. Like,
Because nobody cares. That's why.
that's your guys' problem, not mine. I'm sorry. Yeah,
So
Carlos,
good.
no, go ahead.
So yeah, like this thing about they don't believe in generational exclusives. Like, yeah, in 2 years maybe. It's like, for the most part, most of the games that people care about aren't going to come out for the Xbox One. Halo Infinite, that might shock people. That might not even come out for the Xbox One.
Oh.
That shit. They might put we're gonna put what's it called, ray tracing on it, and it's like, yeah, we're not gonna bother putting it on the Xbox One because it's not gonna look that good.
Well, Manny, you're muted, bro.
What if this this whole thing, like in the 2 years or whatever, is the amount of time when they actually allow them to get their shit together and make some actual next generation games?
Oh.
It's
Or
just
games
for goodwill. Dude, no. Does anybody think third-party companies are going to stick to this?
With the no gamer
No.
left behind? No,
Yeah,
probably.
no.
I doubt it.
They're not going to.
No.
And then Microsoft's going to be standing there and be like, it's first generation or first person titles. We're really trying to make it accessible. Like, they know that it's not necessarily going to be a thing. And personally, I think it's a terrible idea to even try. Like, I don't understand why game companies don't get, like, maybe it's just a bad time in society, but they're about competition, right? Like, they're about exclusivity. A console, a good old console launch is here we go. A good old console launch is supposed to be exclusive. It's supposed to be intense. It's supposed to be competitive. The whole idea is that you sit there and you're like, what the fuck are you playing? And you're like, oh man, it's the new Xbox Series S, SJ1 12.910. And you're like, oh dude, that looks way better than mine. They're like, yeah, it is fucking way better. I invited you over just to show you how much better it is. Now, go away, I'm gonna go play some Monster Hunter. Like, gamers do that shit. Like, it is the reality of human behavior. People want to show off their fancy new thing, and they want to create artificial exclusivity so that people buy into their ecosystem. I don't know why they're not. They didn't used to try and hide it that way. Like, at least old Xbox was just like, fuck yeah, this is awesome, give me your money, and everyone was like, cool, awesome, here's my money. It was very clear, it was very upfront. Now it's just they're trying to seem nice to gamers without actually acting like or understanding gamers. It's all about the optics now. There's no genuine honesty. Like, I know that they're companies. That's the first response everyone gives me is that they're businesses, but some businesses try to make a connection, and right now nobody's trying. I'm not getting that from any company. I'm just getting a fuck you, kick rocks kind of thing.
Well, the reason why they're doing it. It's like they want to maximize the money they make out of every video game they sell. So it's like, if we can sell this to like a whole bunch of other people, then let's do it. But they don't. What people don't know. It's like, yeah, the marketing sounds nice, but at the end of the day, these games are not progressing for the new systems because the other consoles are holding them back.
Yeah, you have to build a skeleton for the lowest common denominator, and then just shine it up for higher tier consoles or PCs or whatever. Like, so there are things that you can't make happen. You still have to build. If you still have to build a shitty character model, it doesn't matter how much you shine it up. It's still going to look like shit.
And here's the thing that pisses me off, and it's like it's where all the fucking complainers start saying, "Oh, but it's anti-consumer," and I'm like,
I hate
and
that
then
fucking term by now, man. I'm really tired of it.
like privileged ass fucking kids, man. That
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like I have a fucking 10-year-old console, I should be getting the new games too. Like, no, you don't. When you get a new car and like. If you have a 10-year-old car, like you might not have all the features. It might not have GPS, or it might not have something that's new on the freaking thing. Like, you just gotta learn that your technology doesn't last long. Technology progresses at such a fast rate that you're gonna be left behind if you don't upgrade, relatively soon. And 7 years is a pretty decent, time frame to think about, like whether you want to go to the next gen or not. But yeah. Anti-consumer talk is I hate
it stifles innovation.
exactly.
Like, that's my problem with it. Like, if you came out to me and you're like, "Hey, I've got a console that's going to play Fable," I'm like, "Oh, the Xbox?" They're like, "No, it's just its own console." And I'm like, "Seriously?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's $300." Like, to play Fable? Yeah. All right. Well, I want to see this fucking Fable. Like, this better be an impressive ass Fable. Like, the idea is, you have to look at people's motivation. I don't know if any of you have read Freakonomics, really good book. It doesn't kind of follow the string of motivation. And right now, everybody's just sitting back, lazily kind of grabbing your money. They have you in a closed ecosystem. It's the same reason they charge you, $5 for a drink at an amusement park. Because what fucking choice do you have? Like, we need competition. The idea, we need anti-consumer activity, because at the end of the day, anti-consumer activity makes them strive harder to make a better product that benefits us in the end. The fact that, in fact, I turn it around and actually fucking say all this pro-consumer activity is the reason we're in such a shit show right now, and Fortnite is one of the most popular fucking games in existence. That's the reason. That's to the people saying anti-consumer, that's your fucking fault. Look where you've put us. This is the end result. Let's go the other way.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I look for any time to disagree with Brett about anything. I can't.
Not this time, buddy. Not this time.
Not today.
Not today. Not today.
Uh-oh, hell has officially frozen over, man. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
All right, man, let's move on. And we are still on mob hits, man. All right, his next question. Oh, by the way, shout out to King Irish 23 for subscribing or following. Thank you, appreciate that. Cool name, by the way. I know Brett approves.
I was gonna say, is that Brett?
Yes, yeah, that is Brett, man. Yeah. What's going on, Fergus? What's going on, Andre? People in the chat chilling right now. All right, mob hits. What's up?
Did we move on to the next question?
Yes,
or
yes.
Are we still
No, we're not. I was just giving shout outs, man. All right, next question. All right. Seeing how...
Whoa.
What, Brian? Fuck.
I want to answer the question.
Okay, you go ahead. I said, are you ready? You fucking... All right, go ahead, man.
How are you not ready for this by now, Tony?
What happened? Oh, for Brian's coming in late and shit? You're right about that.
Yeah, like, how are you not prepared? Like, that ought to be his intro. It's his superpower.
Yeah. Oh, I have something to say. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
CPT,
Yeah.
Oh shit!
All right. So I am slightly confused as to why people are confused at this. I know it sounds confusing, right? So one of the things that I noticed is that for the first year or so of any console generation, is there any real title that quote unquote takes advantage of the console?
Lair?
Yes.
That really takes advantage.
Mario 64.
I mean, Sonic Adventure,
Mario.
Halo.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah, I think
Max, even though it was a shitty ass game, it still took advantage.
Does it take advantage enough to the point where people say that this literally cannot be done on the older consoles? Because what I tend to see,
Mark Cerny had a whole talk about it.
Dude, the jump from PS1 to PS2 was significant.
Oh, that was big. Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, but the first couple of games, because I'm sure that most of them.
Yeah, none of those games could run on PS1, bro. None of them.
Yeah, dude, Jet Grand Radio.
Oh, Dreamcast. Yeah. Like the Jet Ryan Radio could not run on Sega Saturn.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so what I'm seeing is people seem to be like confused as to why Microsoft are saying, "Hey, we'll just make all our exclusives both old gen and new gen for the first 2 years." And for me, I'm just like that makes kind of sense. Like most of the games you see for the first 2 years of the console, even for the first 1 year of the console, is stuff that isn't really all that impressive. Like you can even look at this gen. Like you had what Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was a
like
window kind of game.
yeah, like the launch window type game. Like you can't really say that. Oh yeah, this is totally impossible on the PS3 hardware. Like I'm certain that parts of that are definitely possible, and people are just trying to make it sound like it can't be possibly done. And my thing is,
It can be. Just hasn't been done in like a decade and a half.
and that's my thing. It's like people all seem to be like, oh, Microsoft, why are they doing this? It's like, well, the first two years or so games aren't anything that is that special. And to me, I don't see it being something that like, hey, can only be done on this platform, unless they specifically put in stuff there that is locked to the hardware, for example, 6-axis or
Oh,
something.
Brian,
Now,
real
hold on.
quick.
Let
Hold on.
me ask you something.
Okay, go ahead, Brad. You first, because I had a question. I'm a little confused right now. But go ahead, Brad.
Okay,
You first.
so Brian, you're talking about games that are pretty much available cross-gen. Other than this last generation, what games were cross-gen?
Okay,
Like
what do you mean by
what games were on the PS2 and PS3?
probably quite a few, but I've not checked.
Like Marvel Ultimate Alliance end of generation shit.
Like I remember Black Flag was the first real big game that straddled a generation. And we, as a group, talked about how this better not become a fucking thing.
And it did become a thing. And
that's why I think everybody's pissed off.
Yeah.
Is because now we realize, yep, nope, it's totally a thing now.
Yep.
But do you remember? I remember being super angry about that.
No, yeah. And the thing is, we all kind of feared it would happen, and it did happen. And here's the thing, Brian. I think this is a new phenomenon because, yeah, you always saw an actual upgrade between generations. It was last gen where we were like, I'm not seeing it here. And Brian, here's my question to you because I'm a little confused here. Are you talking about games that can only run on the new system or games that are impressive? There's a distinction there, because think about it. Say what you want about Lair. Lair was a bad game, but you could not play that shit on PS2, Say what you Killzone Shadowfall sucked. That shit couldn't run on no PS3. So what's the barometer here? Quality or actual playability? Like I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
I'd say technical feasibility.
Okay, so can it run? Right. Okay, so we're going on that. So
As in, is it feasible to run? Not just like, oh, I can't stick in my PS3 disc in my PS2. Like obviously not. But I mean, like, is it at a point where it's like, yeah, the limitations of this console are it's not possible, as in any degree, without any type of tinkering, that it just can't run. Because, again, even we have said here that, yeah, Spider-Man Miles Thingamajig is pretty much just a
PS4 game, yeah.
DLC for a PS4, which is like, hey, like, that's what I'm seeing. It's like all these games coming out in, like, next couple of years, I'm not seeing them doing enough to warrant to say that, yeah, this is only capable on the PS5 because with the limitations of PS4 and Xbox One, it's just not going to happen. And that's why I'm saying that I'm confused as to why people are annoyed at Microsoft for doing that, because all I'm seeing Microsoft saying is that, hey, we don't see. Okay, currently we are not used to. Currently, we don't have enough developers that are familiar enough with the hardware to take advantage of it. So hence, for the first 2 years, let's just make all our games on both platforms while people transit over. To me, I'm like, that makes sense.
I see where you get mixed up.
They want that slow upkeep that slow trickle over, rather than just like, okay, here's like a hard wall, either there with the old games or here with the new games. It seems like they just want to say, okay, let's not have a wall, let's have like a slope instead, where people slowly trickle up to the new gen over time. And to me, I'm not seeing that as a problem. Sorry, Brent?
That's always what they've wanted. They've been very clear about that. They want to blur the lines between generations. But the problem with that and you're seeing it now, is, a lot of people were kind of okay with the idea, but then the inevitable thing is it's going to hold back games, which is what we see now. So now you have a company, and because consumers don't care, consumers do not give a shit, not in a one-on-one situation. Like, it doesn't matter if Manny draws a bad page, it's nobody gives a shit why. If I do a bad tattoo, nobody gives a shit why. As a consumer, what you're telling me is, okay, I want you to buy this new system. It's not going to do anything different than the current system you have for about 2 years, but then it's really going to pay off. And as a gamer / consumer, my response is, well, fuck you. I'll wait 2 years. Like, why, where's the selling? Like, how are you going to sell me on this idea of buy a new console that doesn't do anything?
It's also the funny part of it is it's like, okay, so if they're essentially by their actions saying, hey, wait another 2 years, then why the fuck do we need to buy these things day one? Why didn't they just delay the shit until the fucking games are there to show the goddamn thing off? Don't just say, hey, we've got a new console and then not show anything.
Yeah, here's the thing I want to bring up, Brian. Again, I'm very intrigued by what you're saying. Here's the thing: I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it works only if you count for last gen. Last gen is a weird gen, and I granted it's repeating now, but again, before last gen, right? And this is where the frustration comes from us older guys, right? Before last gen, there was a clear line of demarcation between generations. There was no question you were in the next generation. Even the launch games that didn't look as good, right? They were still light years better than what you had on previous consoles, right? You didn't have people going, oh, why can't I run Super Mario World on my Nintendo? It didn't work like that, Why can't I run Sonic on my fucking Master System? Why can't I run Sonic Adventure on my Sega Saturn? Like, there was a clear line of demarcation. We're in the next gen, you're getting left behind, right? But now, because of last gen, and like I said, and like Brett said, we started this trend. Hey, you know what? How about we just have games sprinkled out everywhere for the first 2 years, right? So Microsoft's strategy makes sense for the new world. But again, if you're coming at it from the old school, it is frustrating as hell because you're like wanting to get excited for these new systems, but then you see there's no reason to get excited because all the shit you could play on these systems are available on what you have now, So yes, it does make sense to wait for 2 years, but again, we don't want to wait 2 years. We want that shit dope on day one, Dreamcast style, and that's where the frustration comes. But I can understand if you're a younger gamer, you're just used to it. It's like, oh, I guess it's like a phone, you get a minimal upgrade every couple of years, And just a side thing, and I'll let you guys finish off. I guarantee you in 3 years, we're going to get the PlayStation 5 Pro and the Xbox Series XX. It's going to happen. This is how they're going to get you, It's very frustrating, man. All right, any last words?
The real frustration here is not so much that, okay, for 2 years you're not going to get these games or they're not going to be better. The reason people are angry is the part that comes right after that, and it's kind of unsaid, because we don't want to let the slower ones get left behind. Like, that right there, that's like saying, that's like going on a fucking plane and wanting peanuts, and they're like, I'm sorry, somebody on the plane has peanut allergies, so we're giving everybody pretzels. They're just like, God damn it, fuck that peanut guy. Like when you get told you're getting less and it's somebody else's fault, it makes you a little angry, man.
Yeah, no, I hear
that's
you.
like hardwired into our brain from the time we were fucking monkeys. There's a great video that shows the idea of fairness is ingrained into us. They did a study where they gave one monkey cantaloupe and one monkey grape for doing the same experiment. And the one with the cantaloupe was clearly frustrated at first, and by the second time, not really great. Third time, he fucking throws the cantaloupe. Like fourth time, he just freaks the fuck out. He's like, "Where's my fucking grape?" It's the same thing here. Like that idea is so hardwired into the human brain that's saying, "Yeah, we're gonna dial it back and give you less. We're not giving you any cake because somebody here has diabetes." Like, God damn it! It just makes you mad. Not even necessarily like. And you can't be mad at the peanut guy. You can't be mad at the diabetic guy. But you could just be mad in general. And then you have this displaced cloud of anger and you don't know what to do with it. You're like, I'm just mad I can't have cake and peanuts.
Yes, I agree. I remember when we used to have peanuts on planes. I don't have those anymore. It's crazy.
They do. If there's somebody on the plane if there's nobody on the plane who has a peanut
I
allergy.
guess I've flown on nothing but peanut planes then, because I've never had like in my adult life I've never had peanuts on plane. When I was a kid flying in planes, peanuts all day, every day. You know,
it's because I hate to sound like an old guy. It's because back in the fucking day, they did that if you would die from a peanut. Now there's people who are like, oh, I get slightly irritated if I'm within 6 feet of a peanut.
the same people have to bring fucking animals to keep them comforted, right? Those same people, those same fucking animals that screamed the entire fucking ride and then get me upset. What about my fucking needs, man?
Yeah,
I'm upset.
Like, society treats people differently now.
You'd be like,
are you gonna die? Then deal with it.
Exactly.
Can you just say I'm allergic? I'm definitely allergic to stupid people and dogs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you ever notice like, oh, I have a comfort animal, but then the comfort animal's fucking yelling the whole time. I'm not comfortable. You know, shut that fucking dog up. Anyway, and I love dogs, by the way, but you know, service dogs, you know, on planes, like those little fucking like I call them purse dogs. You know what I'm talking about?
Fake service dogs.
Yeah, fresh service dogs. Yeah, because
they're
real
not-
service
they're not
dogs are the shit.
trained.
Yeah, they're not trained. It's just a fucking purse dog. You know, it's not a real
You know,
dog.
if you ever had a blind person with a dog on there, their fucking dog is quiet as a mouse.
Yes.
That's a trained dog.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a service dog, not the yappy dogs.
Yeah. God damn it. All right. Anyway, let's move on, man. We're really moving on now. I'm getting mad. Fuck, I want my peanuts back, man. All right. Where the hell are mob hits? All right. Seeing how things played out this year with E3 and the other conventions, were these digital showcases something that you might welcome next year? Or is it more important to have physical attendance for people like Tony and the rest of you guys to give a proper impression? Here's the thing. Got to understand what happened this year, bro. The Rona happened where everything had to get shut down. So it wasn't like the industry decided, oh, we're just going to abandon all physical shows just for the hell of it, and we're going to just go digital. They had no choice but to go digital. You know. With that said, I think the experiment shows an entire summer of gaming news does not fucking work. You know, and I'm saying this as a guy who said E3 was irrelevant, right? I'm taking it back. E3 is very fucking relevant now, you know, as this fucking summer has shown. Like, I think it's better to have 1 week of condensed, like, news than, like, 4 months of bullshit like we've gotten, you know? So, if the Rona is gone or controlled by next year, I'm pretty sure we're going to go back to normal, you know. But again, what happened this year, it wasn't like they decided let's do this for the, you know, because digital will be better. No, it's just because of the Rona. They had no choice, you know.
Well, this year made you realize how many things are so need people actually showing up in a building to do.
Yeah.
It goes to video game show conventions.
Sports events, yeah.
Sports events, every single thing. Things that we're just like, oh yeah, you know, we can totally do that. No, we really can't. It really doesn't work so well.
Yeah, especially wrestling. These guys are playing up to the crowd that isn't even there, you know. Go ahead, Chris.
I think it was also important, like you said, for it to be condensed, because now leaving it up to every company to organize their own events, and everything was spread out, and all the news is like just watered down, and they can like lead us along, you know, dangling a carrot, you know, oh, you know, so many months till this, we'll throw out a few bones. When you have a condensed week and they have to impress everybody and have press there and whatever, then they're forced to bring out the you know, megatons, you know. We haven't had that.
No.
They just trickle it out, you know, because they now control the narrative. Like, Sony can have their showcases and state of plays and whatever. So can Xbox. It's a free for all, and in a free for all, we're losing out. We're just getting weak sauce news spread out over months.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all pretty much agree on that one. You know,
I almost feel like if we did have an E3, I feel like we would probably know a little bit more about what these new consoles, what's coming for.
Yeah, we'd actually be able to play them. You know.
Yeah.
Also, like, you're not there, and other media's not there to like hold people to task.
Yeah.
And ask them questions. All the information is one way, right? We're just sitting there like absorbing it. We can't ask anything.
Yeah. By the way, full disclosure, I was set to go to E3. I was accepted and everything. Manny was going to be there. We were going to try to get Adam in the bitch, but again, couldn't be helped. Couldn't be helped. You know, that's just the way it is.
It would have been. It would be interesting. It'd be like, so so why does this new we would have had this months ago? We would have been like, hey, so why does this new Halo game look the way it does?
Yeah, you're right about that. At E3, you know,
At E3, that shit would have been at E3. There would have been like, the fan reaction on TV would have been like, what the fuck is this shit? And then you would have the media going, hey, Phil, why does it look like that?
And don't even fucking remind me, man. Things we could have been doing right now if it wasn't for the fucking Rona.
Oh,
I would have been in
man.
fucking Europe during E3 time. I would have been a fucking pizza snob to the fucking Italians. Like I know what's up.
That shit is
Fucking bullshit,
crazy.
man.
Fuck the Rona, man.
I was planning to learn to drive this year. Can't do that.
Nothing, man. Oh, boy. All right, I don't want to talk about the Rona anymore. Let's move on to the next question from Tumeke. What's going on, brother? Shout out to New Zealand, you know. All right, Tumeke, since you are new to the show, we're going to let this question, we're going to actually answer the question. You know, we've answered it before. All right, what would be your ultimate game/franchise remake, and how would you want it done? Engine of choice, developer, changes, or keep it 100% original? Let's see if anybody can remember their old answers. I hear that clicking, Chris. Fuck them up, man. Fuck up the Mongols, man.
Oh, so this is remake.
Yeah, remake, yeah. And like, who would you want it be done by? All this other shit, engines. Dio asked us a version of this question a while ago.
Yeah, we had it pretty recently, actually.
Yeah, it was this year for sure, you know. But since Tumeke is a new follower, you know, we'll give him a little bit of a pass here. Because normally I'd be like, yo, ask us somebody else. We answer that. But it's a good question, though, because I forgot my answer. Whatever the hell.
That's all did I.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
I would have Kojima Productions remake Metal Gear Solid 1.
Oh.
I played the game. I didn't beat it. I was a freaking little kid. I don't remember what the hell happened except for Snake.
Yeah.
Snake.
Yo,
Dun, dun, dun.
redo it with the Decima engine.
Yo, excuse me?
Engine.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't say it's my dream remake, but it's top tier like remakes. I don't know what my dream remake.
The thing is, yeah, I don't have a dream remake. I don't care. I'd rather just play the original, you know, or at least like a remastered version or something.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like if we're getting to something like on the level of a Resident Evil remake,
yeah,
yeah, that's a good thing. Like,
Resident Evil or Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake that they did there recently.
Yeah, those were good, but they're doing 4. Unfortunately, I didn't want them. 4 is a perfect game. You didn't just
don't touch that one.
Yo, man,
come on, just put some new textures on that shit.
That's all it needs.
Put some new textures on that shit. You know, add some ray tracing on there and call it a day.
But here's the thing.
Spit shine.
Yeah, get the spit shine. You don't really need to fix that.
But here's the thing. Like, I get it. It stands the test of time. But I mean, if the last 2 remakes are any indication of what we can expect, I mean, that's something to look forward to.
Oh, I agree. I will say this though: you better not cut any fucking content out. They cut some shit out of Resident Evil 3. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, by the way, that Resident Evil 3 did not sell very well, unfortunately. But 4, you know, 4 is coming though. 4 is coming.
Yeah, that shit is gonna sell well.
You know it's gonna sell well.
3 didn't sell as well as the original.
That is also right. Again, you know what I find funny about the complaints about Resident Evil 3? The main complaints were this game's too short and it was too action packed. That's literally what people complain about with the first Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Literally the same thing.
That's a good remake.
And the bullshit thing about it is they took the one thing out of that game that was the talking point and literally put it into Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, you're right. The fucking monster chasing you, you know?
Yeah. Mr. X was a Resident Evil 3 thing.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 Remake, right? He actually was random. Like, he just showed up. Nemesis in the third one, no, he's not. In the original, he was random, but in the remake, he's actually not random. He comes at very specific scripted parts.
Remember the original 3, you got to make choices on what path you took.
That's right, yeah.
They took that away.
Yeah, that's
it's all linear.
It's weird, you know. Don't fuck it up with. Again, I'm frustrated with 4. It's like the game's perfect. The game's perfect. Don't fuck it up. But yeah, if we get it on that level, I mean, I'm still gonna play it. Obviously, it's Resident Evil, you know. Anyway, we're getting off track. Remakes again. I don't really care. You don't need
Yeah,
to
I'm
remake it.
gonna go with whatever Carlos said. I'll go with Kojima redoing Metal Gear Solid.
Just because it's the
That
original
would be
game
dope.
is
Yeah.
so old, it's a top down. There could be a good reimagining to tell the story better anime cutscenes and everything. Kojima goes wild. That would be
I have an answer.
And the other thing about it is that there's no re-release of that game. It's totally locked down to the PlayStation 1. It's the only other place that you can play it is on a Vita.
yeah.
So you can't even play that game if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, it's on the PSP, Manny, and you can put it on the Vita, but you have to do some funky shit.
Yeah, you got to do some conjuring to get it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I want to see Crystal Dynamics remake Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver.
Oh,
All right.
That'd be dope. And remember, this is Square Enix, right? So we need those fancy ass cinematics and everything.
They're gonna hire that company to do a bunch of shit for them.
Yeah. Right. So that's my answer.
Barry Burton says StarCraft Ghosts.
Who says
they have to make it in the first place.
Yeah, Fergus. Fergus, we got your question, brother. Don't worry. He says he wants Chrono Trigger remake. Chrono Trigger.
Well, hopefully they don't do the Secret of Mana treatment.
Oh,
that was one of those games, bro. I played that shit for like just as much as I needed for the review, and I was done. I was like,
I hear Trials of Mana. They did a very good job.
Trials of Mana. I hear good things about it, but Secret of Mana, not so much. All right, Chris, did you go?
No, it's on a Dream remake, but
Yeah.
I'd say give us the original Siphon Filter with Unreal 5.
Oh shit!
Bring back that game, full voice acting and story, cutscenes, man, and it looks good. Not mitten hands, they look like people.
Mitten hands.
Oh,
that'd be awesome.
I was just about to ask, can I throw another one? I'm a host. I can do what I want. Yo, what to say? Because people are saying, "Oh, I want Mass Effect remaster." No. Remake the Mass Effect trilogy, Unreal 5, baby.
Oh god!
Especially that first one. That first one needs an overhaul, boy.
Yeah.
Imagine you made it as one game. Like you go from the beginning.
Oh my god!
As one solid game.
You're fucking me up right now, man.
Yo, Chris, whatever you want, it's a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
I don't think that shit'll ever
happen. With the SSDs.
The SSDs, no more fucking, the fucking
the
probes,
elevator,
the elevators, the probing, the planets, and
yeah, right.
And then the fucking man, all that shit would have been fixed.
Oh god. All right, Brian, Dream remake by any developer.
I didn't really have anything that came to mind, but I guess I'll go with GTA 3.
Ooh.
Because that a Rockstar, like with a Rockstar engine, like GTA 3, it looks like that and plays like that, with the physics and all sorts. Like, yeah, I think that'd be great.
That'd be fucking crazy. By the way, shout out to Laszlo, man. He left Rockstar.
Yeah, he did.
Like, yo, what is going on there?
All those guys are leaving, man.
The old guard.
Paradise.
Well,
man.
I had my theory on that.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But,
I hope I'm not right.
Yeah, right, shit. And Brett, if you could hear us, what's your dream remake?
It's so tough because... Okay, I'm going to say probably Jet Set Radio.
Ooh, that's a good one. Any, like, specific engine or anything like that?
No, I've been watching Morgan play my Kakarot game lately, and I've just realized how far cell shading is coming.
Yes.
And, you could do vast, expansive, like a full remake where they have the original soundtrack and they just kind of add to the levels. That'd be great. I miss skate games. I don't see enough cool cell shaded stuff. And that weird Japanese techno pop kind of shit. I forget what his name is. If they can get him to make some more music for it. Like, that was a really fun, enjoyable game. And I really love that game.
Cool.
and no Rob Zombie.
Yeah, Rob Zombie. Like, I don't know why they put Rob Zombie in there. Like, that was just fucking weird. Like, you're jamming out and you get this weird like Tokyo jazz pop. Like, it's a weird soundtrack, but you find yourself getting into it. And then all of a sudden, Rob Zombie comes on. Like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, what? Yeah,
Wait, Dragula's on Jet Set Radio?
yeah.
It's in there.
Wait,
Eh,
was that
Is it
the
Dracula?
was that the sequel?
No, it's in the first one. I think.
Really?
It's jammed in the first one. Yeah.
How come I don't
Yeah.
remember that?
Because it was one of those dumb remix versions of Dragula.
Oh, I probably skipped it then. You know. What the hell was I gonna say? I forgot. I totally lost my train of thought. All right, next question. We have, I believe, actually, ooh. And you know what? I'm sorry. We should have given this man a shout out at the top of the show. This question is from Brooklyn Bear, who did all these fancy graphics. If you guys showed up on the show, you got to see the new intro for Throwdown Your Questions, which is dope, right? And he's currently working on a channel trailer for us, so stay tuned for that. So shout out to Brooklyn Bear, man. Thank you for all the nice graphics. Look at the city right now; it's fucking crazy. You know,
well, I mean, it was all based off of his. We kind of threw an idea.
Yeah, it was very collaborative process. You know,
yeah, and I kind of made up the new version of the scrolling city based off the stuff he did. So it was like, yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. I like the way it sounded because his whole idea was like, hey, we're going to have the intro like in arcade and stuff, and then Manny's like, can we have a city? And then Manny did his own city, and then we went back and forth and stuff. It's really cool, man. So yeah, shout out to him. All right, so his question. Okay, so this one a little bit of context. This one. So he was having a little bit of a back and forth with one of our other listeners, Frankie B, I believe. It was cordial. It was friendly. No usual Twitter beef or anything like that. It was cool. And they were having a disagreement about, Switch games costing $60, specifically ports of old games, and this leads us to the question. Okay, Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, had an Amazon page leak today showing that the game is coming to Switch for $60. People online had comments on both camps. Do you feel Nintendo should keep getting a pass for their ports? If other companies did the same, they would be blasted online. For example, Crash and Saint Trilogy had 3 games that were completely remade for $40. If that shit was $60, it would have been deemed bad. I agree. And Brooklyn Bear, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Throwdown, we have a hard time coming together for something we don't hardly agree. We all agree on this shit. We all think that Nintendo tax is bullshit.
The only reason they're getting away with it is because nobody bought the games in the last generation. And this is the whole it's new to me.
But this is 2 gens old.
Yeah, no, you're right. Chris, break it down, man, because this game is not 2 years old or 3 years old. This shit is 10 years old.
Yeah, it's 10 years old. It was on the Wii. It had it on some people's list. If you look on YouTube, it's in the list of one of the worst E3 conferences of all time. Was the Skyward Sword conference where it fucked up?
God,
remember
that's
they couldn't
right.
get it working?
Yeah, that's right.
So, and it's because of the fucking motion controls, and so I'm hoping they got rid of that. Like you could just play it normal, and I would think it would be stupid to keep it because you'd screw over all the Switch Lite people. So I'm thinking they got rid of it, but still, like, how do you charge $60 for this fucking game? Like seriously. I mean, even 40 is steep, but I would say, okay, all right, you got to pass for that. Okay, $40. I mean, even Mario Kart 8, which I haven't dropped the price, it launched at $40, right? So Wii U port. This is full $60 now. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, we should say that hasn't been 100% confirmed yet, but I can believe it. There's not really much for us to say here. We all think the Nintendo tax is bullshit,
Yeah, and this game. I mean, 9 years old, and they're potentially going to charge $60 for it. Like, what is it going to come with? The original, when it came out for the Wii, it came with a Motion Plus. A lot of them did. I don't know if all of them did, but
this was a European leak, right?
UK,
yeah.
I think was Amazon.
In general, aren't games already pretty expensive over there?
Yeah, but Manny, it's going to be $60, right?
It's going to be $60, but aren't games already higher than the United States price of $60 in the UK?
The only reason they're higher is because of the what do you call it? Like if it's $60 here, the exchange rate, exactly. Like if it's $60 here, they'll charge £60, but £60 is more expensive over there than $60 is for us. But yeah,
So-
Brian would know better.
Yeah, Brian, enlighten us, man.
Okay, I didn't see the post, but how much was it on the Amazon leaked post thingamajig?
Oh, I have no idea. By the way, Brian, you can jump in anytime and say, I don't pay full price for games because I play on PC.
Like,
That too.
even just in general, Brian, like let's say a new game comes out, like let's say Halo Infinite was supposed to come out in November, and you're gonna pick it up. Hypothetical scenario number one.
Hypothetical game?
Yeah, exactly. So how much would you pay?
Brian, it's £69.99 or whatever the fuck
Ooh,
you guys
that's-
use there.
Okay, that's rather high because usually they come out at usually like $49.99 is like the recommended retail price. Yeah. So $49.99 is how it is. I don't tend to buy if it's more than $39.99 because why the hell not? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, but in general, yeah, UK prices are a lot higher. Mostly because of tax reasons, because tax and dear God, tax is horrible here. So yeah, but even that price, like if that's the listing price, then it's either temporary as like a placeholder, or dear Lord, Nintendo's gone mad.
So in general, the exchange rate for the pound to the United States dollars, for those who don't know, $39.99, which is what you said was for normal games, right?
It's now $49.99.
Okay.
Some odd reason they've just gone up. So like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm not buying your games.
Okay, so $49.99 in UK prices is 45.48 in USD. I mean, excuse me, it's 65.48 in USD. So
It's more expensive.
it's more expensive. So that Breath of the Wild game, they said it was 69.
No, Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, excuse me, Skyward Sword said it was 69.
$69.99, whatever the fuck.
British pounds.
Yeah, shillings or whatever the hell they have.
$69.99 in USD is 91.68.
Whoa.
Damn.
That doesn't sound right.
No, it's gonna be $60. It's gonna be $60
It's
here.
gonna be 60. No way
Yeah.
it could be $90, man.
Number one, $60, 60 pounds in UK. That's way more than it is in USD. So what are they doing? Are they selling like a super special edition here?
No,
Because this price does not sound right at all.
it's not. It's gonna be $60.
Yeah.
So that would mean
Even then, it's
something.
stupid expensive for like a 7-year-old game. You said 7?
Yes, yeah,
6-year-old
nine,
game?
No,
nine,
10,
nine.
10,
No, 10,
yeah.
10. My bad.
It's coming 10 years.
For a game that's almost as old as Skyrim. Like, no, sorry, older than Skyrim. Dear God.
Oh man.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be weird.
No, it's just as old as Skyrim. I think Skyrim is 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, so is
Because it was
Skyward
11,
Sword.
11, 11.
Yep, Skyward Sword was like November 2011 also.
All right. Okay.
So same year.
So old. So it's a game as old as Skyrim. And how much was Skyrim? on
Which
launch?
one?
Oh, on the
Didn't
Switch.
they-
Oh.
Yeah, the Switch version of Skyrim.
Ooh,
Shit,
let me look it up.
Probably was $60.
$49.99.
Oh wow. Oh, it's not a first party. That's why.
Hmm.
Yeah, $49.99, and I'm looking at on Amazon.co.uk, and $49.99
That seems to be the regular. That seems to be the regular game price over there.
Yep, it was $65.
Yeah, $65.
Damn, no wonder Brian buys all his games mad late.
Yeah, because it's fucking they're
Expensive.
fucking yeah.
It's even more expensive than over here. Damn.
One thing as a freelancer, I actually do like getting paid in pounds or in euros.
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 Yeah, because the money is actually better. Some of the jobs I've done over there, they don't sound great, but then when you do the exchange rate, I'm like, oh shit, look at this
Like, give me the cash.
for a deal.
All right, man. Let's move on. Next up, we have Jagged Lines. That's a new name. So shout out to Jagged Lines. First question. Both of these questions are about Xbox and Halo, by the way. All right, first question is: do you think with the Halo Infinite delay? Wait, do you think the Halo Infinite delay gives Microsoft an excuse to continue holding out on the price announcement indefinitely? No.
No.
They're going to have to announce the price. It didn't matter what happened with Halo. They're going to have to announce the price regardless.
They already released they already put out the release window.
Yeah.
Like November.
Well, what people have been able to cobble together right now, it seems like November 6th is going to be the day the Xbox Series X comes out, and which leads me to believe the PlayStation will come out the week afterwards. So it's basically a reverse of what we saw this gen. This gen, the PlayStation came out in the first week of November, and then the Xbox came out the second week. So this generation is going to be the other way around. You know, no console is going to come out at Black Friday. They come out before Black Friday. You know, that's how it always works. So,
Wait,
what happened?
This gen, the Xbox came out first.
No, PlayStation came out first, and then Xbox.
No.
Like a week
And they were literally separated by, and I know that because I remember on Throwdown. Yes, we've been around that long, people. We did an episode on the PlayStation 5 launch, and then the week afterwards, we did an episode on the Xbox launch. So it was all back to back.
I mean, Throwdown's been around long enough for what Xbox 360/3.
Yeah, we started in the 360 era. Yeah, we started in the 360 era. Yep. Shout out to SC if you want to play. You know. All right, that was pretty easy.
I've sworn that it came out before.
No, look it up, man.
I just did. I'm still confused. I'm like, wait, I could have sworn there's like the other way around. Okay, fair enough. I had my dates wrong.
Yeah. And Brian, I don't know if you were on the show at that point.
Yeah, I was because
in 2000. No, you were. In 2013, yes, you were, because you joined us in the beginning of 2013 because you were complaining about us being ignorant about PC gaming. So we had you on the show, and then after we had you on the then we had you on the show. We never got complaints from PC gamers ever again, which is fantastic.
Why was it because Brian was the only one complaining about PC?
No, there were some other guys. There was one guy who was beefing, boy.
What the fuck?
Actually, let's look this up, Brian. So November 15th, right, for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and November 22nd
for Xbox, right? Yeah, look at okay, yeah, there you go. Wow, damn, they cut that shit close to Black Friday, you know. But I do remember that PlayStation first and Xbox. So it looks like this time is going to be Xbox first, then PlayStation's. You know. All right, that pretty easy answer right there.
It's fun. It's funny if you think about it. Not Breath of Wild. Skyward Sword literally came a year before we actually started the podcast. That's how long ago that thing was.
That's crazy. All right, man, moving on. Another question about the Halos and the Microsofts. Will Microsoft be willing to take a bigger cut price on the Series X to win back favor with its fans now that Halo Infinite is delayed? No, not going to do that.
No.
Definitely not.
They ain't doing that.
It's not going to go down for a while.
That game was going to be big, obviously, but it was not that integral, you know? They have all this shit. So, no, sir. Yeah, we went through that shit fast. Fuck, I don't even have the next one ready. Wait, but now I do. All right, next question, also about Xbox. This one's for Mr. Eurocar9.
Who is this fool?
Who that?
Who this fool?
Yo, I remember. When I was a kid, right, our friend Mike used to come over, and every time the phone would ring, you know, my sister was here, she'd pick up the phone, he'd be like, who that? She would get so mad, because my sister had a lot of boyfriends and shit, so Mike would be like, who that? She would get fucking pissed, you know? And one time, one of the guys I was calling her, got her, like, who that? Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Mike, man, character. Eat my fucking food every time I picked up the phone. You weren't there to watch your food. That motherfucker. What the hell? Memories, man. Oh, God. All right. By the way, Mike, he has kids now. He was like, why the fuck are these Switch games so expensive?
Oh, yeah.
Because he bought his son the Switch Lite. And he's like, I want to buy Legend of Zelda, but $60. He's like, Mario Kart 8, $6. I'm like, what games aren't $6? I'm like, none of them. They're all 60, man. You know, unless they're third party. But he's trying to buy Nintendo games, you know. Oh God. All right. Does the Halo Infinite delay sway any of the panelists who are considering buying a Series X at launch to not get one anymore? All right. Before we get to that, who was planning on getting an Xbox Series X at launch?
Brett,
I'm
right?
going to.
Brett,
Brett,
right? And Carlos, right?
Well, I wasn't optimistic about it, so I was leaning more towards knowing that was with Halo still on the dock.
Yeah.
I think Adam is like the only other person that was like on the fence of getting.
Gotta have something.
Gotta have
Yeah.
some.
So Brett, does Halo's cancellation sway your opinion on getting it?
Delay.
No.
Oh, delay.
not at
Yeah.
all.
Not at all.
No,
Well, you didn't care
not
about
at all.
Halo anyway. You wanted the other stuff.
Well, I mean, you gotta. My circumstances are a little special. I didn't really play any of this generation's. I have an Xbox. I traded out a tattoo for it. It is the most janky Xbox ever. So I'm afraid it's either going to explode or levitate or something like that. So I haven't gotten ungrounded or anything like that. I haven't kept up on my subscription, so can't really say I'm in the ecosystem. So I'm looking
So-
forward to playing games like Grounded. Like
So
that
wait,
game looks really cool.
So wait, you got rid of your Xbox One?
No, I have one. It's severely janky. I never actually bought a brand new one. I just
Okay.
traded out for one.
Oh, okay.
So, I get a lot of the benefits from last generation, especially with Game Pass. I can play Game Pass and play all the games that I missed and kind of want to play. I have a big library, and there are several games being released. I mean, Fable's one of my favorite games. So you just tell me, and I'm like, okay, cool.
You're like, when and where?
Fine, just take my money. Avowed looks awesome. I have an idea or this feeling that Obsidian itself has real beef with Bethesda, and they are just pushing hard. Like, I'm impressed the amount of games that they're coming out with, and like, they're the ones that made Grounded. They're the ones that made what was that space game called? Outer Limits?
Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds.
Not Outer
they
Wilds.
they make Outer Worlds. They made Grounded, and they're making Avowed. So they kind of did like a Fallout kind of clone, and then a building game, and then something that's probably going to kind of be a Skyrim-esque game. So yeah, I'm impressed with them as a company. I'm looking forward to see what they're coming out with. So yeah, just between those, I know that they're coming. My idea isn't so much like, oh my god, I need it right now, but more. I'm gonna buy it eventually, and if I get the money in hand, then I'm gonna put it down because that's how it works when you don't have steady pay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You just
true.
go without, and then every once in a while you get a windfall, and you're like, cool, you better spend it on the shit that I want. I mean, you put a savings on, like, you should have a savings. I'm not saying to spend irresponsibly, but like, you go without until that windfall. So it's not so much like you get a windfall and you're like, I'm spending all my money. It's that you haven't done anything fun or cool for like 3 weeks, and then you come into like a big windfall and you're like, okay, I'm gonna save half of this, but I'm gonna spend a couple $100 on me.
Mm-hmm. It's burning in your. What do they say? What my mom used to say, it's burning in your hand or it's burning in your pocket.
Burning
Burn
in
a hole in your
pocket.
pocket, yeah.
Yeah, it's burning a hole in your pocket.
Yeah. And I mean, that's fine. I've learned to. My method is generally, the weird thing is, I'll save my tips. Because I was raised with this weird, this, I guess, kind of weird, but I think it sounds very normal belief that if somebody gives you money as a gift, they don't want to see you put it towards your electric bill. They don't want to see you buy pet food with it, unless you desperately need pet food or you desperately aren't going to make rent. Like, they want to see you do something nice. Like, the idea of them giving you money is the idea that you're supposed to buy yourself a gift. You're supposed to do something nice for yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, and so I take that over into my tips as well. Like, I charge the money I charge for my tattoos, and then if somebody gives me extra money, cool. Like, that's the money I can go see a movie with or buy a video game with. Put it in a coffee can and save it up, and eventually you have enough money for a PlayStation or an Xbox or whatever. And, a nice little fund in case some pipe breaks or something like that. So the way that I work is, if I know I have the money, then and I beyond my safety net, then yeah, grab it now because tomorrow may suck.
Mm-hmm.
And that money's going to find a way to evaporate anyway. There's a certain amount of money that just kind of disappears unless you ration it hard. And so I buy things that I like and then ration pretty hard. I don't go out a lot. I don't spend a lot on food most of the time. I direct my finances towards the things that I like. So if I'm gonna want to get an Xbox eventually, why not fucking get it now? There's already things out that I want to play on it. I don't think that I think we're going into another dry spell where games are going to be hugely necessary, and to open up a new group of games with Game Pass it's kind of a no-brainer, man. So like my it's not so much that I'm like, fuck yeah, Xbox, as much as I have these very weird circumstances that kind of tailor me towards, if I get an Xbox and a PlayStation, then I know I'm going to have some games to play, which is tough because it didn't used to be like that, but now it is. So here's where you find yourself. Here's how I react. So
all right, Tony, let's name the headline of this throwdown clip. Why Brett is infatuated with the Xbox Series X.
Yes. Yeah, we could make that whole thing into a clip. That's right, man. That was good.
Yeah,
Well said, man. Well said. I like that. Keep going,
y'all know I'm a passionate guy, and I am mad at both companies. But weirdly enough, like I can't champion either company right now. So
for sure.
I don't blame you, bro.
I feel the same
I
way.
agree.
I don't blame you. I wish I could feel what the fans are feeling because I don't fucking get it.
Well, but you know why?
Is it all just ponyism? Is that all it is?
I think a lot of it is.
But the
We're
thing is,
being honest.
but here's the thing. I kind of disagree because 80% of those responses I got to the people that are excited about next gen, those were third party games they're excited about. Third party games that you could play on your fucking console that you own right now. They want to play them on next gen. The game that got the most traction,
PlayStation.
the game that got the most traction, Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk.
I'm hyped for Cyberpunk, but that has nothing to do with.
But that's what I'm. But
updates aren't even coming day one.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's like, think about it like this: what does it say about the upcoming generation when the game that people are most hyped for is a fucking current gen game?
Yeah.
This whack, man. Nothing.
Maybe whack.
Again, and Brett, I actually envy you because you actually do have some shit you're looking forward to. I got nothing. It's like, what the fuck? Horizon. Who the hell knows when the hell's gonna come? God of War. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, we just know there is one eventually.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a flashy logo for that shit.
Well, Tony, the answer for you is one you're not going to like, and that's that you're going to have to try some different kinds of games until you may find one you like.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Dude, it's the same way it happens with music. Like, have you ever had a band that you're just like, nah, I'm not really into that, and you slowly transition musically, like.
Brett, I only like two genres, by the way.
Okay, this is going to be a poor example then. Do you ever not like a certain kind of food until you start having just a little bit of it in your food, and just a little bit of it in your food, and all of a sudden you kind of learn to like it?
No,
he doesn't.
I stick with the same food, man. I don't switch.
No,
that's why I said this is going to be hard for you.
And if he doesn't like something, he will at no point ever like it. Just try to get Tony to eat mac and cheese.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
Oh, we did it in New Orleans though.
That actually was pretty good though, because I back. Yeah.
There was two things.
But I'm not gonna eat that shit regularly.
No. All I'm saying is, if you expand your horizons a little bit, there's a lot of games like you probably aren't interested in Grounded because
absolutely
it's a
not.
game. But if you found the right game in a different kind of genre, you might find some buried treasures that you didn't know you were into. Otherwise, yeah, have fun playing nothing.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Here's where I'm kind of coming at it now, right? This may sound weird, but it makes sense, right? I'm not liking as many games I used to, but I find that the games I do like, I really like. So I'm like, okay, maybe I have to wait a year or two for a gem, but when that gem comes, man, I'm going to be in heaven,
Is that gem for you like high production quality, or is it something that you can find in some indie games?
Yeah, no, indie games don't have anything I want. I'm just be honest, they're throwaway games. You know.
I mean, they're like I loved Absolver, and that was pretty much an indie game.
Yeah, you did. I wouldn't play something like that. You know.
No, but like I wonder if there's any hidden gems like that. Like, it is your line of quality just production value.
That's pretty much one of them. Yeah, production value, controls, cinematic, all that shit. You know, I guess that is.
That's all going to have to be big production first party.
The same mentality goes with movies, right? When I go to a movie, I'm not trying to see some fucking indie shit. Two guys talking for 2 hours. I want to see special effects, explosions, the crazy. I want to see money on that screen, and that's what I want for my games for the most part. I'll play some little shit, like Streets of Rage 4 every once in a while, but the big stuff. High production. That's what I want, you know?
I hope you have a trove of nuts somewhere because you are in for a long winter.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm already prepared to, go back to the old school if they need be, back when those games were high production back in the day, I've been prepared for a while.
There's a bunch of old games that you can fill up your time with.
Yeah, there's a bunch of old games I could play, because again, I've been prepared. I'm like, what happens when gaming sucks and like there's no redeeming it? Like, go back to the old shit. I'm already doing it with other media. Comics. I'm reading old comics. Like new comics suck. I stopped watching TV and movies. They're all trash now. I'm reading books because there's plenty of books I've never read. Go ahead, Carlos. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, you're not playing The Witcher 3, Tony. Just fucking do it. Play The Witcher 3 and watch Into the Spider-Verse. That's all you have to do. Tony.
You know what? You know what, Brian? I'll play The Witcher 3 when there's no more new games to play.
Next round's launching soon, so
yeah, that's true.
I know you talked about this, but I don't remember what you said. What are you looking forward to Cyberpunk?
I'll play it.
I mean, Tony, you should try Witcher 3. It's actually not a huge time investment. After 2 hours, you realize you don't like it, and you just.
Because I've heard the combat in that game is terrible. Like, I want to see how bad it is for myself, but I want to do it. I want to be fair about it and play Witcher 2 first, and then see if Witcher 3 improved. But that's not a priority. Again, because of my job, I have to play just the new shit. By the way, Brett, that's the irony of it, right? I'm not excited to play any of these games, but I'm going to be playing a shit ton of games.
Hey, that's awesome. At least you get stuff to play.
Yeah, it's work. All right, moving on. Where the hell are we right now? I think we're up to the next question from Mr. Eurocars. All right, out of all the projected PS5 console exclusives launch window games, what intrigues you the most? None of them.
No.
And we're a pony podcast, right? None of them.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
That's kind of related to this because we all know the answer is none, unless Brett wants to talk. Does Horizon 2 count as a PS4 exclusive? Because the first one's on PC.
Horizon 2, if it comes out on PlayStation as an exclusive, yes, it does, but it will not when it comes on a PC. It's a retroactive thing,
So is this one of those cases where we're saying it's exclusive because we don't know yet, or we're just hoping that it's not on PC? Because I have no idea.
Oh, no, that's a good question because you're right. What if this game... But I seriously doubt they're going to have that game come out at launch on PC.
No,
Sony's not going to do that. Granted, take this with a grain of salt because every company says stuff and they could always backpedal. But they said they're not going to do that because they don't want to devalue their games. They said that about...
They're not going to do that right off the bat, man. Yeah, they're going to do like they did this time. We're going to wait. They're gonna wait a bunch of years, wait for the for that shit to level out, and then they were like, oh yeah, we put it out on PC in a shady fashion.
Brian, do you think there's a chance this game's going to be coming out on launch day, on PC, day and date with the PlayStation 5 version?
I have no idea.
Wow.
Again,
interesting.
You
heard it here confirmed.
We now live in an industry where GTA 5 spanned 3 generations, something that we've not seen before. We now live in a world where Todd Howard says that Skyrim is not on Switch, and yet it's on Switch. We now live in a world where Halo is not coming out this year now. Again, I don't know what to think anymore. I literally don't. We now see all these guys saying that, hey, this game will not come to this platform, and yet it does come to the platform. So...
we're not saying it's not coming to PC. I believe it will,
No, I'm just saying that I've heard enough people say enough things that I actually don't know what's true and what's not true.
Yeah. No,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And that's why I said take Sony's word with a grain of salt because they could change your mind. But at the moment, they're saying no day and date stuff with PC. At the moment, you never know what they could do after that. You know, they could change their minds.
And then they also said that the PS3 can do 1080 60.
Yeah, same thing with the PS4. And again, take it with a grain of salt. You know, but that's just what they're saying now. You know.
I mean, I keep saying this. I don't know why they keep saying bullshit like that when these things. But nowadays, these things can barely do 1080 60.
Yeah, and now they're flouting 4K 120.
Come on, man.
120.
I just give me. How about we just, I know everybody's got 4K TVs now. But
I don't.
Can we just can we just do a 1080? I'm not upgrading to 4K. Seriously.
Okay.
Just give me 1080 60 with the new consoles, and I'm good.
That'd be nice. You know. I bet we can't even guarantee that, you know.
Yeah. Also, Manny, you say that, but that's because you haven't gotten a 4K TV.
I don't need a 4K TV, bud. Don't need it. I don't watch TV enough. I don't watch TV enough to make the investment.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. That's the same thing I said when I had a CRTV.
Yeah, I just don't.
Manny said the same thing when he had a CRTV as well.
No. I didn't know. The only reason why I wasn't getting anything new is because of with the CRTV, is because it was my mom's TV. I was running it off of, and to be honest, I was like, "Fuck this shit." Grand Theft Auto, I can barely read the text on this.
Oh man, yeah, that's right. Like I remember a lot of people complaining about that because they were still playing on CRTVs back then. You know.
Yeah, they had it on CRT. Everybody had a CRT TV. Everything's running supposedly at 4K. At 720.
Yeah, 720. That was a hotness.
And it could barely see the text on a large television.
Actually, I have some.
Glorious Kev, what is going on, brother? Yo, Glorious Kev, stick around. We got a PC gaming question coming up soon, man.
Yo, I got some crow I gotta eat.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
What's up,
Yeah.
Brett?
Brendan Lee, where is he?
Okay.
The crow.
So on this very podcast, I remember going off about how it really wasn't a big deal to have 4K because, you couldn't really tell a lot of difference, especially with the consoles and everything like that. Since then, I have bought a 4K TV. It is a noticeable difference. I would not want to go back. And I have bought another 4K TV. So I have totally changed sides on that.
Excuse me?
And I have to eat my words.
Yo,
Damn.
man, it's time to. Yo, man, you eating that crow? It's time to play Big Empty by the Stone Temple Pilots, yo, man.
You know what? This podcast, you can go back and hear me. And
So I love about this podcast.
Yeah, shit's forever. So, actually, it turns out I love 4K.
Damn.
And some of the motion smoothing stuff that they put in there, like not great for TV, awesome for video.
Oh, for games, yes, I will grant you that. I hate fucking motion flow and all that fucking bullshit. But for games, at least with higher, if the game's actually running at 120 or whatever, it'll be good. If it's running 30 frames a second, fuck that.
With all that latency shit.
Yeah, no, chill. And Brett, I will be joining you. And again, this is what I love about being recorded for the show, right? As I said many times, I'm getting a new TV, 4K TV, when I get my PlayStation 5. And I've been doing that ever since the PS2 era. By the way, every time I get a new PlayStation, new TV, it just keeps going like that.
That's smart.
Yeah, dude. And people, all my TVs are based around the gaming system. I'm being dead serious, right? PS2, I was like, okay, I need a better CRTV. I got the dope flat screen shit, Then PS3, I'm like, I need a HD TV. What are these games running at? 720? I don't need 1080p. 720p television. PS4, 1080p. Let's go, 1080p. Now it's like 4K.
Yep.
All my shit's based on games.
The first hilarious thing is the first ever 1080p or 1080p television I ever played a game on was when me and Chris were living together.
Nice.
and we got a television for the living room. Yeah,
That's right.
That's the first one, man.
Yeah, because I remember when PS3 came out, people, 1080p TVs were out, right? And people were like, yo, you just got a 1080p TV. And I was like, hold on. These games ain't running on no 1080p. So I bought a 720p TV, save myself some money. All right, man. Let's move on here to the next question. This one is from who is this, man? Drunken Demon.
Who's that
I
demon?
think I know that guy.
I think I may know him, man. He may go by another alias, a certain Killer Avian,
Yeah, I think I've ridden him with him in a car a couple of times.
He has a very nice accent, man.
He does. He's very inconsiderate to his passengers, though.
Like to ram into people, derail them.
All right, man.
Whoa.
Excuse me.
Yeah. He's still a lot nicer guy to game with than Eurocar 9, who just shoots
Damn,
Halo.
yo.
I really
You just-
strongly doubt that.
You just spawn in Halo and Eurocar 9 just shoots you, man. Fuck that asshole.
All right, so Drunken Demon says, I just finished working out to the God of War, not Dad of War OST. And it got me. Dun, 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 dun. All right. And
Didn't somebody add like words to it? It was like something pot of tea.
the party.
Pot of tea.
All right, first question, man. What video game trailer music stands out to you the most? Very interesting question.
Skyrim, Elder Scrolls specifically.
Trailer.
Was it for the King of Skyrim? Was that the one on the trailer, Brett?
No, dude, like, I have no idea why, but every Elder Scrolls game, and I've been playing them since 3. It's never been this big a gap, and I'm mad that Skyrim is just like it's dominated like 3 generations of Elder Scrolls. It should have been 3 more fucking games. But anytime one came out, they show you for it. Within probably the first 5 or 6 notes or so, you're like, oh shit, no, I know what this is, and I guarantee you it'll happen this time. You hear kind of like, deep rumbling drums, and you'll be like, wait a minute. And then you hear something, the kind of low horns come in. You're like, it can't be. And then it'll swell up. You're like, holy shit! I think this is Elder Scrolls. Just because the way that they've always released it, kind of the same way like you hear, a click, a fuzzy noise, and then like a 1950s esque tune, and you're like, oh shit, this is something's Fallout. Something Fallout is going on. So it's just that it's hugely recognizable. Although it's probably not so much more since they actually haven't released a trailer in 7 years.
Wait, didn't they have that trailer for the next one, which was like the weird overpass over the grounds?
For Elder Scrolls, the new Elder Scrolls?
No, I could have sworn that Todd Howard released like a trailer for it, not like an in-game, but just like a
Not
glorified.
That I know of. All I know is that he mentioned that it was coming to the Xbox.
Okay, may just be me.
Elder Scrolls.
I mean, there are games that I might be even more psyched for, but like in terms of you hear that music and you're just like, oh, I know what that is. Like, imagine a game that had a sequel that you've never played before and had original music, but within the first 10 notes, you knew what game it is. The same way Halo does. Like, it has a very unique sound to its soundtrack. Even if it was a different or new song, you'd be like, this sounds like some Halo shit. Like, there's only a few of those games out there that I can really think of.
All right, what about the rest of you guys? Video game trailer music.
Metal Gear 2, Solid 2. That one, that first one was like the first one, like they had like a big budget. They had Harry Gregson Williams doing the music, and he did his version of the main theme.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's gonna be my answer because by the way, that's gonna be my answer because I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
that was good
trailer.
though.
That trailer was like, oh shit, Metal Gear is next gen now. None of this janky ass mitten hand shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, come on. There's got to be one that you know.
A trailer? Because I'm thinking about a trailer. I can't think of any, man.
Well, don't think about more than music. Like, I know, for instance, that I can tell you immediately within 3 seconds of turning on either Into the Spider-Verse or either of the Deadpool movies that we are watching Into the Spider-Verse or one of the other Deadpool movies. Just because I know this, like the first few notes that the soundtrack starts off. Is there anything that you're like you hear and you're like, if you were blindfolded, you're like, I know what that game is.
I guess
Well,
like a Sonic game or something. Like, here's
Okay.
I'm just gonna be honest. Like for the last 20 years, video game soundtracks are become insanely
Well-
unmemorable. You know?
Oh, by the way, there's a big difference between a video game soundtrack and
Yeah,
a
and trailer. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking about
Because
trailer.
trailer music is always that bullshit. Like they take a pop song and they slow it down.
Yeah.
Song.
Yeah, we're not talking about video game
I guess that's
soundtracks. We're
true.
talking about trailers.
I've been told for a million days. Yeah,
Well,
we
sometimes
don't
they
need
use music in
no.
the trailers.
Yeah,
I got one.
go ahead, Carlos. My answer is Metal Gear 2. Fuck it.
And this is specifically to the trailer, and it's the Tears for Fears song on the Gears. Well, it's a cover of the Tears for Fears song of Mad World. Like that shit. Like Gears was a new IP back then. Like it was like 2005, 2006, and that trailer, like just that song and the vibe of the trailer, just was everything. It got me so hyped for a game that I didn't know anything about. I don't know about the.
Wait! I hear something. I hear Adam.
Adam just woke up.
Oh,
He's
here.
the
I hear him right
roadie
now.
run.
bro, you know,
I
I
hear
was
him right
watching. No, let me tell you this though. I was watching the trailer, and then he's like, I was just thinking to myself, "They gotta have some. They gotta
They
have
gotta
some."
have some.
No,
Then he came up with the music and
so
Okay,
He
can
was
I,
so
can I
excited
give one for
about
Adam?
What happened?
Can I give one for Adam?
Sure.
Although,
You all know that in that Tony Hawk release trailer, within like a few seconds, you're like, oh shit, this is Tony Hawk.
All right, that's an Adam one there.
That's
Yeah.
true.
All right, Chris,
Well,
what about you, man?
Me, well, my answer was also Metal Gear, but I was gonna say Metal Gear Solid 4.
Ooh,
Used
okay.
because that trailer was cut so well, and it used a track by Harry Gregson Williams
Mhm.
called the song's called "Mobs Alive," and it's like one of the best songs I think he's ever done for the games.
Nice.
And go back and watch that trailer, and it amps you up. Like it ends. You know that scene where Snake looks like he's in a cemetery? He's in that server room, but they look like graves.
Yeah,
And he's shooting those things, like it ends there, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" You know, it's so intense. Everything was cut to make the game look very intense. So, and it used that song.
It's funny. Like I feel like I remember Metal Gear trailers a lot better than I do a lot
Yeah.
of other trailers.
You know, Manny, which one is the one with Heaven's Divide? Okay, that was good too.
That's Peace Walker.
Peace Walker, yeah,
Peace
that was
Walker,
good.
yeah.
That was good.
That's
That's good.
what's her face? Donna Burke who sang that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, you're right. Like Metal Gear is the one that has like the most memorable game trailer, like musics and trailers. Period. Like I can't think of
It
anything
cuts so
else.
well.
You know?
There's only the only one other memorable one. My honorable mention would be in Splinter Cell Conviction. They used a Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
For that one, I think it's like God's Gonna Cut You Down, and that was good. And you see like Sam Fisher like killing guys and all this stuff. So that was a good one. But my top one was Metal Gear Solid 4. That trailer was amazing.
Nice. All right. What about you, Brian?
The one that comes to mind is the Final Fantasy 15 Stand By Me.
Oh, that's right. They did do that. Yeah.
Florence and something? Florence and the Machine?
Yeah.
I just thought it was just really nice. It made sense. It was, and Brett's gonna get very happy at this. It was thematic. Like the whole point of the story is that you and your, well, not your bros, but you're the prince and your guards stay with you. You know, like, and they travel through on your journey. You know, they stand by you. You know, through the dark and the light. You know. And some other bullshit about swords and stuff, but who cares?
I do approve that answer.
Your sword stay with you.
Yeah, it was a nice song. Like the trailer was like cut reasonably quite well. And it's like, yeah, okay, this is a good trailer.
The one thing about it is that it still follows that formula of taking a song that already exists and covering it in a different speed.
Yes. I don't know if the Florence and the Machine version. Well, it's definitely a cover of a previous one, but I don't know if it was slowed down. But it was definitely a cover of of this song, which has been covered so many times. So many times, dear God. Yeah, it was. I was tempted. Funny enough, my first thought was, oh yeah, Johnny Cash and Hurt when they did it for Last of Us. I was like, no, Brian, that wasn't Last of Us. That was Logan. It's like, oh yeah, my bad.
I hurt myself today. Wait, what Florence and the
Oh
Machine
yeah,
song
that's
was
that Johnny
that?
Cash song, right?
It was definitely that Johnny Cash song that he definitely wrote.
Yeah, he wrote that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely.
That he definitely wrote, and Trent Reznor had absolutely nothing to do with it.
None
No,
whatsoever.
Trent Reznor covered it.
Oh, dude.
Oh man. All right. Anything else you guys want to add to this? That's a no, so we'll move on.
Gotta have some.
All right.
In love for a million faces.
This one's pretty straightforward. What video game has the worst soundtrack?
Oh, worst soundtrack.
Life of a Black Tiger.
That's just the worst game, period.
Yeah, everything about that game is the worst.
Oh wow, what had a bad soundtrack?
Oh, I'm gonna piss
Oh.
off. I'm gonna piss off some people right now.
Uh-oh.
Death Stranding. You're gonna say Death Stranding.
Mm-mm.
Oh, damn it.
Marvel
I was
vs.
gonna-
Capcom 2, man. What was up
Oh,
with that fucking music?
Oh,
Yeah, that fucking
Yeah,
jazz shit? Nah, that was
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah,
I agree
that
with
was
that.
terrible
That's
music.
For
Terrible.
a fighting game?
Yeah, for a
You know
fighting
what
game,
it
what the
is?
fuck? Yeah, no.
You know what's funny? That soundtrack outside of the game, I find for the game it doesn't make any sense, but for outside of the game, it's not bad.
Yeah, no, for outside the game it's fine, but in the
Like,
game
I can
it doesn't work.
imagine somebody breakdancing to some of that shit.
Yeah. But I'm like, here's my thing, right? Like, you came off all these Marvel vs. Capcom games, right? That had awesome versions of the classic music and stuff, you know, from Street Fighter and X-Men Children of the Atom and stuff. And it gets you fucking amped, right? You're ready to fucking go. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom, the game right before it, like, had amazing fucking music, right? Then you go to that jazz shit? Nah, son. Like,
It's funny
you can't even
because
get
there's
hyped, you know?
It's funny because there's so many characters in that game. I feel like the reason why they just decided
That's why, yeah.
they just decided to do stage music is because it's like, well, we have like over like how many fucking literally
Yeah.
every character they've ever put in a game is in there.
And, you know, and that's also the reason why, because before that, every character had its own stage. There's only 7 stages in the entire game, you know, because there's like 50 dudes in the game, you know.
Yeah,
And I think I'm underselling it by saying 50, by the way. Like, there's a lot of characters.
They even cut down the buttons in the game too.
They cut
You
down
only
the
had
buttons.
4.
They cut down the animations. You know, I didn't. That game was a low point. I know that's like a classic to some people, but nah, man. Like, I don't hate it. Obviously, I still like it. It's better than Street Fighter 3. You know, that didn't have a good soundtrack either. By the way,
That
you know?
was like a hip hop sound.
Yeah, you know, it was better than Street Fighter. Okay, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, better than Street Fighter 3, right? But the soundtrack was terrible. Street Fighter 3, I don't like the soundtrack, but the gameplay was better. You know, I don't know. But both of those games, they kind of came out around the same time. That was when Capcom started like lowering in my eyes, man. I was like, you guys fucked it up, man. You know, you guys fucked. Coming off of Street Fighter Alpha 2 and X-Men and Marvel vs. Capcom, I was like, come on, what are you guys doing, man? So that's my answer. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, shitty soundtrack. Worst soundtrack I've ever heard. All right, Manny, what about you?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm probably going to have to go with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because I feel like that one was a huge, especially coming after the pedigree of all the Capcom games that had really great like stage music or character music. And then there's this was just kind of like, yeah, it's like jazz and it doesn't give you the same energy as those previous games did.
Yeah, you know.
I think that was the biggest issue. I think
it was.
You had it's like it doesn't have the energy, it doesn't give you that energy. It just sort of gives you like, hey, I'm just hanging out, listening to some tunes.
Yeah, it's like, what is this, you know? And you know, that was something. Oh yeah, by the way, for this question, my criteria was like, because again, just being honest, I don't actually notice most game soundtracks. They kind of just blend into the background, right? So with this question, I was like, no, it had to be something that sticks out like a sore thumb, and that stuck out like a motherfucker, you know?
But I feel like at that point that, you know, like that was the point where games started to move toward ambient music
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than just
Because
pure.
they were trying to emulate movie soundtrack. Movies you never notice movie soundtracks. You know, they're just there to enhance whatever's going on the screen. You know. But remember old school games, man. You know all those soundtracks. You know.
Oh, we lost Manny.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Blitz 23, who's Tumeke. That's a good one. That's a good answer. I want Manny to get back. Manny, can you hear us?
Yep, I hear you.
Dude, his answer from Tumeke, this is a good one. Streets of Rage 3. They dropped the ball.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
That music sound like this.
Yeah, that's a great.
shit.
Yeah, you know what? Again, going back to the original criteria that I have, like, it has to be offensively bad. That was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, especially coming off of 2, one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. You know.
Yeah.
It's funny because it was still the same guy, but he was experimenting with new types of way of making.
Oh, it was
music.
bad.
It was
It was a
bad.
bad experiment.
Yeah, great
I'm glad he did. I'm glad he told them don't do Streets of Rage 3 for the new game.
Yeah, right. All right, Chris, what's yours?
Oh, does anybody remember the soundtrack in the Resident Evil director's cut?
Oh, I do not.
Oh my
I
god!
mean-
yeah.
Oh, that was bad.
It sounded like the composer took a keyboard and took his knees and ran them across the fucking.
Yeah, there's that one.
Wow.
It was that one. Yeah, like that one room. It's like burr, 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 burr.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
fucking
horrible. Yeah.
terrible. You know, it's like a fifth grader with a recorder could have made a better soundtrack than that.
I'm like, how
shit.
is this? How is this the director's cut? This lousy ass.
Wow, that's fucking crazy. Now I want to hear this just for my curiosity.
You
know?
played that shit.
Not
bro.
director's cut. I only
Yes,
played.
you did.
I only ever played the original, man.
The Resident Evil that was on the
Saturn?
on the Saturn was the director's cut.
Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah, it
played
had
wow.
the shit music, man. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't notice it, man. It's crazy. I'm not gonna say the soundtrack was great either, though. All right, Mr. Brian, worst soundtrack.
I actually don't know because I'm in the same camp as you, Tony, where I just have not noticed many soundtracks being bad. I noticed the good ones, like the ones that really get to me, like Witcher 3, God of War, not Dad of War. I'm sorry. So, again, I know stuff like that. I'm not going to count like racing games because most racing games have licensed music.
Yeah.
So I'm only counting stuff that is original, not licensed stuff. So yeah, I don't really notice the bad ones. So I threw this question in there because again, I want to know what you guys thought. Like, have you noticed any bad soundtracks?
Yeah.
Because I have not noticed. Not that I'm saying that they don't exist. I just haven't noticed them.
Yeah, no,
Because
I'm in the same
Yeah.
boat as you generally. So, like, again,
I forgot
that fucking Marvel's Capcom 2 one. All right, Brett, what's yours, brother?
It might be subjective. And I'm not sure which one, but one of the Devil May Cries, at least one of the Devil May Cries, because it just seems so abruptly weird to bust into hair metal as soon as
They don't really have hair metal though. It's more like fucking industrial.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking of 3.
Oh,
I think
really?
Is that the one with Nero in it?
Yeah.
Yes, that was.
Yes,
Devil May Cry
that's
3.
exactly what I'm
Oh,
thinking
okay.
of.
Was it 3 or
Is that the one with the fears in your eyes? Like, that's the one I remember. You know?
Yeah, I think.
Like, I just remember some fucking ministry shit going on in there.
It sounded like Tower Man 5000.
Yeah,
to
it
me.
did.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere too. Like you're like, it just doesn't feel part of the game. It feels like the game is trying to fuel you with music, but you're like, this is a story-driven game, man. Like,
Not
I
that
mean,
one.
albeit it's a bad story, like you're just reveling in like, yeah, fuck it, demons, do a combo, yeah, double gunning it. I get it. Like, it's supposed to be like, cheesy, over the top, I guess. Like, and I still enjoy it, kind of. But man, that music stuck out to me. Like, it was immersion breaking.
Yeah, that's when you know it's bad.
Yeah, it wasn't even like I hate this music. It was just like it's so random and out of place that it's like, wait, what? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna fight the spider demon thing.
It's funny because, in general, Devil May Cry games have had like that sort of music, but I feel like that one was the one that had the weird. They kind of overdid, like it was a little too much.
Yes.
Which is funny because that's actually objectively the best Devil May Cry game, mechanically
It
speaking.
is, but
Yeah,
I
that-
remember
yeah.
that stupid "Fear Is in Your Eyes" song got like used a lot.
It
in
was
that
too much. It's like that's all I remember from like the fears in your eyes. Like that's literally all I remember about the entire game. Oh man! All right, and the last question, Glorious Kev. I hope you're there, brother, man, because this question's specifically for you, man. By the way, if you guys don't know, Glorious Kev, huge PC gamer advocate. You know, he even got mad at me because I renewed my PlayStation Plus subscription. Like that's how serious he is about this shit. You know.
Damn, he's like, play on Steam.
You see the question up there, brother. All right, this is from Fergus Mills, man. So he goes, at the advice of Throwdown to end my gaming slump, I copped a laptop to give PC gaming a try.
Oh,
Good for you, brother. So the question is, what are some PC games I should check out? P.S. I like games with emotional stories, so if you could think of any, please add some. Go nuts, PC gamers. What should this man get as a new, fresh PC gamer?
That is such a
Yeah.
kind of games
Emotional
does
stories?
he like?
he
So,
said emotional stories, so I mean, Soma was a pretty good one.
Damn!
right?
Oh, by the way, Glorious Kev, he's a huge PC gamer, right? You know what he just said right now? Story games? I don't know. This is the PC gamer saying that.
Come on, man. Maybe that's the game that you don't play, but I mean,
No. That's the point. The PC doesn't have that shit.
what do they? Yes, they do. I just mentioned one of them, Soma, the game with Rutger Hauer that's coming out pretty soon. Well, they're redoing with Rutger
Yeah.
Hauer. That's actually a pretty good story-driven game.
Oh, okay. I was like, because I'm thinking like, do they have anything on the level of the Last of Us in that bitch? I don't know, man.
I mean, they don't have like. Here's the thing: you'll find story-driven games on PC are more first-person.
Oh,
perspective.
yeah. The walking simulating games. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
You're right.
You'll find more of those sorts of games where you'll
Yeah.
find like a lot more story-driven games.
He
Like
says
that
Disco
format.
Elysium, and he had to think hard about that one.
Disco Elysium.
Oh yeah, Disco Elysium is a nice one.
Right. I'm gonna step
sounds
off
like a
because I'm
disco
not.
game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not versed with PC, so I'll let the PC guys handle this. Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Disco Elysium is like a isometric. I think you play as a detective, if I remember correctly.
A disco
It's something to do
detective.
like. No, I think it's. I don't want to say it's a parody, but it seems to have some sort of weird, not weird in that sense, weird as in it's odd humor type stuff. Again, I don't know. I just heard about it. It's on my wish list on GOG, but I just have not had time. Yeah, Disco Elysium's good call. I genuinely didn't think of that.
Yeah. Glorious Kev said that he doesn't really play a lot of emotional games on PC. That's why he's not really too well versed in that. He doesn't play games for story. He plays games for games. Gamey shit. Yes, gamey shit. I said it. Go ahead, guys. Recommend stuff. I honestly don't know.
What game? Transformer?
Yeah, well,
What is it called?
Yeah.
I don't play those type of games, so hence I have no idea. Like,
Glorious War says if you want a story, get a PlayStation. Yeah, Fergus Mills does have a PlayStation.
I mean, there's What Remains of Edith Finch. There is Her Story. Disco Elysium. Firewatch.
You're on the PC Games N article, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Because I'm on the same thing.
Thomas was alone.
There's Thomas is Alone, but a lot. Well, then again, you can't play it.
Oh, of course, just go to Steam. Look what's on
Kentucky
Discovery
Route
Rich.
Zero, which was also I heard was a really good one.
You could just go to Steam and look at what's on Story Rich, as in the tags.
Yes, Steam does actually a good job of sorting their stuff and has a friendly and intuitive UI.
There's games like Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Becoming Human.
Hey, there you go.
Oh well, yeah.
Metamorphosis, Outer Wilds. Yeah, just go to Steam, look at just what's there. Griftland. Oh, Griftland. That's I think that was on. I want to say the Xbox One. No, maybe the P. It's on one of them. Yeah, Griftlands looks interesting. It's like this weird card game, but it's also story driven. So you kind of drive the story by your cards, and based on how you do certain things, you can like influence people. So the example I have to give is that like you walk into like a bar and you want to get some information. So hence you just yell, "Hey, give me, like tell me about this," and then guys come and beat you up. So hence they replay that section again, but this time they go into like around the bar and then they hire some mercenaries to help out, and then they ask for information and then they beat up the guys and get the information. So it's not as simple and straightforward as most other games where there's only one path. It's like lots of options, you know. Yeah, Grifflands, that's a nice one. Mass Effect 3. Yeah, okay, let's not go there. Way Out. There you go.
There's
Way
no
Out on there.
Way Out, yeah.
Just browse that. Hey, Journey's here. Wouldn't you know? Again, I just don't know that many one because I don't look at that. I'm sorry.
Oh well.
So yeah, Steam, story-rich games, and then you'll find stuff. You'll find 254 results.
That's a lot of results, and they're probably cheap too. You know.
It's a lot of games, Tony.
It is a lot of games. Doesn't say anything about the quality, but it's a lot of games for sure.
It's funny because
you guys should have seen my faces when you guys were naming these games. I'm like, you know,
you can play Undertale because you totally need a computer to play that one.
Yeah. All right, I think we're done.
Half-Life Alex is on here.
Glorious.
Well, you need VR to play.
Yeah, you need. Yeah,
I heard it's funny. I've heard a lot of the modders have modded that game, so now you can actually you could mod it to play it like a normal Half-Life game now.
Okay. Glorious Kev, here's some stuff he says. He goes, Papers, Please. That's the immigration game. Tyranny. He says it's a decent RPG by Obsidian. That has a good story.
Or Tyranny.
Yeah, if you're German, yeah. He says it's not emotional like that. So, you know.
Torchlight is a pretty good game. Torchlight 2. It's like a Diablo kind of clone.
Diablo.
I guess Trine?
Trine is really good too.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good.
It's like Trine 3 already. Maybe even Trine 4.
Don't play Trine 3. You don't play Trine 3. Trine 3, they went 3D. Hey, that's emotional. Yeah. Or there you go. They're not like, you know, like narrative emotional, but they're like emotional. Those are good soundtracks too, by the way. The Ori games, very good soundtracks.
The graphics,
oh god.
Yeah, they make me emotional. But look at all the teraflops.
The CUDA cores.
The CUDA cores running all
it's
this
a 286 processor.
running behind the fan. This all makes me emotional.
Oh god. I paid $10,000 for my PC. It doesn't even work. Fucking Jag. I wonder if he's dead, man. Like, what's up with that dude?
Damn. I wonder if he's dead.
Because he was having all those fucking diseases and shit. Because he is laid in bed all day. You know?
Yeah. He was saying that he was not well at some point. So
yeah, something was wrong with him. Like I yelled at him. This was the old days when I just went the fuck off. Brian was on that episode.
I remember that episode. It was so funny to me.
I yelled at this motherfucker, man. Lazy. Let me stop. We don't do that anymore, Tony. We don't do that anymore, man.
Well, your reasoning is perfectly sound. I mean, dude, you're in a wheelchair and you're getting out there.
I'm going off. What the fuck? How the fuck? Okay, I'm in a fucking wheelchair, right? And this dude sits around on his fucking bed and he just complains that he can't move and that he's sick. Get off your fucking ass, you know? Fuck out of here with that shit, you know? You don't see me having health problems because I fucking move, jag-on, you know?
Damn. That's some past anger.
Yeah, man. Nah, that shit pissed me off, man. Motherfuckers. He's one of those guys that'll probably beg me for money on the street. I've had that happen before. Bums and shit coming up to me. Give me some money. I'm like, bitch, you got legs, man. You give me money, motherfucker. I got a job. Fuck that shit. Oh, man. Fuck all of you guys, man, setting me off right now, man.
Oh, you guys. I just said it.
Yeah.
I just reminded
you. You all set me off, man. Jag on. But to be fair, I started because I said he was probably dead. You know, by the way, I don't want Jagon to be dead, but I'm worried that he may be, especially since he just lays around all his, all day thinking about CUDA cores and shit, you know. 1080p processors. Fucking Arabian Elmer Fudd, man.
Damn.
What he is, he said that fucking impediment, you know? The CUDA core. And he was Arabian. What? How am I wrong? See? How am I wrong?
Make sure to follow us on
hey, shout out to
Discord.
Saudi Arabia, man. You know. All right. By the way, we actually do have a lot of listeners in the UAE, right? United Arab Emirates. You know, shout out to them, man.
Nice.
But no
That's
shout
not
out
Saudi Arabia, but
yeah, no, it's not Saudi Arabia. But I'm not giving a shout out to Jagan. Get off your ass, bro. You know.
Get off your ass, bro.
Get off your ass, man. Fuck out of here. All right, yeah, we're done here, people. So another good show. Let me do. Manny, you have any pimpings to do, man?
No, I mean, you know, Excellence is out. Excellence is real. Go pick it up at your local comic book store or on Comixology or on Skybound or Image. It's everywhere. Just look it up. And it's our best issue. And maybe what I'll do is in the coming weeks, you know, we haven't done a giveaway, and we kind of want to do this before the U.S. Postal Service decides it's going to close down because of our government. But yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Well, we do have two contests coming up, so
yeah, let's hope this shit holds out, so we could send you a game if we could do that.
Oh man. Well, we got UPS. Oh man! All right. So follow us on Twitch and Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And you can join our Discord and have fun with us there, chatting it up. You know, you can find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show, and you can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes, man, via Audio Boom. And as always, you can find links to everything in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
Play some games.
Yes, Jagon. Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Gotta have some.
Brett Murdoch.
It's for real people.
And Brian Manjoma.
Yeah, it's been a fun game. Well, fun game. It's a fun episode.
It was. I liked it. I liked. You know. All right, people. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Deuces.